All right. 1v1. Jammers. Jammers? Like gamer? I don't know. Jammers. Versus the Blue Gecko. Gecko. Clock weighing in at 42 OS versus 44 for our blue player. 6 spectators, absolutely stacked spec list. We got the Gecko clan in here. Gecko with the C start. Getting those herrings. Getting those C cons. Excuse me. So, sometimes you hop on stream and then you realize that's the first time I've talked today. We're getting warmed up. Jammers over here with the bot lab start. Now, Gecko obviously making a vehicle plant to move onto the land, but I really think this is interesting. Getting that C start, getting those naval cons out, claim all those C mechs, it's sort of a pain actually to contest those from land. Like, you can build them if you go vehicles and get an amphibious con, but if they're already built, then like what are you doing? Building torp launchers out of your con? Like you can't attack them in any kind of a cheap way. And so that is metal that's very hard to contest. So that's an interesting way to play this. And now moving on to land, getting that LLT up, forward base defense. Getting now a construction turret up as well. Metal extractor going up. Incisors and cons on a 5-to-1 ratio respectively with repeat on. Very reasonable way to start the game. A vehicle plant coming out from Jammers here as the metal income starts ticking up. And now what I'm interested in is which of these is going to turn out to be better, because right now we see Gecko ahead on metal income, but only actually, as soon as I say it, it switches around. They look pretty close to even on metal and energy both. And I mean, 2 approaches to the map that truly could not be more different. What I'm curious about is the herrings here have fairly long range and have the capacity to harass coastal mexes. And if you're building LLTs to defend against that, they're going to outrange those significantly. And so I just don't think that's going to be effective. And so you might say there's more land mechs than sea mechs here, but most of the ones that you can actually defend are going to be the inland ones, which is not the majority of them. And so, and in particular, things like this planned expansion of winds on the island seem very optimistic in light of this sea start. And I wonder, what level of knowledge do we have? Interesting. Okay, so we might just be thinking, okay, now we know. But this might be the moment that Jammers first gets definitive proof of what's going on here. Obviously, a 44 OS player can guess, but this is when we actually know what's happening. And so now, yeah, Jammer's checking to see if it was an island start, maybe. Not a bad guess, but not the correct one in this case. Trying to reach the herring, not going to be able to do so. And yeah, Gecko, honestly, looking really strong this game. This is really cool. The Blue Gecko, by the way, extremely chilled, nice to talk to. One of my, actually, not that you're supposed to pick favorites, but one of my favorite gamers in bar. Really a pleasant person to have some games with. Jammers I don't know as well, but you know, seems chill as well. Let me see a little bit of some comically intense chat here. Jammers claiming not to know what it feels like to lose. I like the exploiter here. This is sort of a trademark Gecko thing, is expanding with exploiters. 240 metal instead of 50 to build one, so about 5 times more expensive, and therefore about 5 times longer for it to pay itself off. Which on this map means that you're looking at, you know, rather than 25 seconds, you're looking at whatever 5 times that is, 125 seconds, so about 2 minutes. Now we see a big old tank push with some bots and some tanks coming through mid here from Jammers, and this is the make or break moment, right? Is that Jammers has been massing up on land this whole time, has not invested in C units, C eco. We see, by the way, the lab is reclaimed from Gecko over here, not getting any more C, which makes me wonder if this was just a start where it's like, if Jammers started C, Gecko would want to be able to match that, but now that we have like a few herrings out, a few cons out, there's no real reason to continue with it. Might be the attitude here. Now, Jammers not eager to engage, despite pressing across the map, and therefore Gecko is able to jump on this army, get an extremely good engagement, and the exploiter here now helping as well, joining in on the fun. I would have repaired that, but I guess we don't even need to. And suddenly, This push that actually did look scary now looks like truly nothing. It's going to kill 3 mechs and a con. Maybe not even that, but like probably that. So honestly, yeah, not that scary. I think the herring did go down. There's the wreck of it right there. So that's a shame. Missile trucks putting an end to that. 700 range. They are certainly capable of action at a distance, as it were. Now, Gecko continuing to expand, though, continuing to hold a really decisive metal lead, despite losing these mechs. We're looking at like 60 to 80 on metal income, and Jammers clearly having no idea for how to contest these, at least not yet. You know, if I was thinking out loud here, I might say, okay, you try to walk your cons, get some contrars closer to the shore, get your sea lab up, and just start going sea yourself. I mean, Gecko's not even in the sea anymore for the time being. But Jammers, I think, has a very different approach to the... oh, a lot of unspent metal. I just noticed that as well. You don't want to be wasting that. But Jammers, I think, is basically feeling that there's a clock on this game and that they really, really need to end it. And make a really strong push, win on the land where they are strong. And honestly, I get that approach. I'm wondering if it's too late, especially with the exploiters in play, really doing a surprising amount of work. Very high HP pools on those things, which means not only are they going to stay up for a long time, but they're going to tank for the army, for the mobile units, which means that the counter push after that defense is successful is going to be very strong, because a lot of the damage that was done was damage onto the exploiters, which of course would not join the push. Also, they can get resurrected. We see now the bot lab being put into play, not using quota mode for keeping these res bots up, which personally is what I would be doing, but I think it's okay. And this counter push here, like I said, now looking very scary. Jammers kind of slow pushing with the missile trucks, which of course are going to be effective against exploiters. That is the one big downside of exploiters, is that they have short range. So if you're not defending them with units, then they can just get slowly chiseled down over time. But this incisor push, I mean, what do you got? What do you got, Jammers? How are you going to stop this? You could think maybe, it's too late for it now, but maybe shurikens could have been a good answer here, right? If you had those earlier. But now I think you're in trouble. Now, fanning these units out does mean that a small defensive force is going to at least be able to kill at least one of these factions, and the rest of them are going to go up against LLTs, so this is not going to be a kill blow. This is going to be reducing the income of the blue player by a significant amount. So this is setting up for the next push, right? This is saying, okay, I know I'm ahead, I'm going to get more ahead, and I'm not going to kill you now, but I am going to kill you in several minutes after this income gap widens even further. And I mean, like, literally, you can just keep going with that guy. This guy, there's no turrets back here. There's even a radar that you can take out back here, so this is brutal, you know? Kind of funny seeing these naval cons. Are we going to have a lab go up here? Maybe even a T2C lab? That would be a stylish play. I would really like that quite a lot. The missile trucks still going uncontested here. I'm not sure why these haven't walked on them, and even as I say it, they walk in. There's not a lot in the way of turrets to defend here. So I think, honestly, that Gecko's got this one locked down. However, we do see that brute production and pounder production have both commenced here. Currently, we're only on brutes in the queue, but we got a batch of pounders out before switching into that. We got 8 of them. Over here, that con is going to have a very unpleasant surprise. And yeah, I'm so curious what this is about. I really want to see it. I mean, I have a good guess, but I want to see it. It's also strange. I said this was going to go down. It is going up because the herring died. You would have loved to see maybe a few more of those get produced before we ate the sea lab, just to have some backups so you can maintain that coastal harass, because that is so powerful. Denying mexes like these and these, you know, you'd really want to be activating this to take care of those in lieu. And now this res field has cleared up, but of course there's more to do. And that's the other point to make, is that, like, these exploiters as well, they're not getting reclaimed, they're getting rezzed. So even if you take them out with your missile trucks, which, you know, is probably going to take, frankly, several minutes to actually get the job done, it's going to pay for itself, and then you're going to res it, which is only going to cost you energy, so you're fine with that. You're fine with that trade as long as you're active. Now, oh yeah, pinging the comm. Are we going to get a comm snipe? Gecko is looking for it. I don't think you have enough to do it. But honestly love the attempt. I think when you're this far ahead, you can start doing things like that. It's you know, from the spec view, I can say that was not going to work. but I don't blame you for trying, and I do appreciate the ping, just to draw the spectator's attention to it, just in case it gets dramatic. Now, that was a big explosion. That's the sort of thing Pounders are known and beloved for, and that's why it's good to spread out your Grave Robbers. It's hard to keep them spread. They do tend to clump, but, you know, you can do things like do a space move command, right? Move command while you hold down space to spread them back out. Oh, now we're even going into air, getting those air mexes up. Gecko really with a commanding hold on this game, I would say. And it's hard to see the income difference simply because of the reclaim. But I think it's fair to say that Jammers here is playing from behind. Bombers coming out now. What have we got for anti-air back here? Not a lot, and we're very clumped up. We are doing rows of 2, but, you know, this is still very dense. And so you just sort of, you could attack anywhere in this region and you would hit something of value, right? You might not get everything, it might not chain react, but you're going to do decisive damage. Airlab now going down for Jammers. I am broadcasting on a 5-minute delay, by the way, so no concerns about competitive integrity here. They're just good players making good moves. But, yeah, we've got the Shurikens moving in for the defensive play on this push, which is good and correct, because honestly, not a lot of units at home to defend here. The units we're all expecting the push to come through here, because that's where the Pounders are. Pounders, of course, very slow moving, so if you see them at the front line, then you can expect that they are positioned to be where the push is going to be, so that they don't have to catch up with anything to get there. Fighters just barely catching the bombers. This first one is going to get a round of bombs off. Not going to do any damage, actually. Incredibly lucky. 1 HP left on this wind. Prevents a chain reaction. Shurikens easily denying this push. This is a potentially scary push, completely nerfed into oblivion. Of course, there's more push coming. And with the fighters moving in, the Shurikens do have a limited lease on life here. We have fighters versus fighters in the sky, kind of a coin flip interaction. Unless you're a 44 OS, in which case there's probably a bunch of tricks I don't know. But nevertheless, I do feel like this is looking pretty good. But I have to admit, these things are getting further in than I would have expected them to. Exploiters take a long time to die, but they do die eventually. And the units are kind of out of position to catch this. So now you got to start worrying. You know, if the Shuriken stayed up, then this would be fine. I do have to wonder if Gecko was betting too hard on that. Maybe that actually was sort of a problem. And, you know, with the fighter dominance for blue now, once that dominance is established, it's very easy to maintain, because these fighters are going to come out one at a time, and they're probably going to trade out as they come out. You kind of need your build turrets eating things at this point, I think. Gecko Commander here sitting in the back of the base. Yeah, at this point you could easily get some reclaim in. You really want these units moving in like this, and then reclaiming the ones that are behind the front line. Meanwhile, oh, it's an amphibious. Oh, no wonder Gecko's not more worried about this. Oh, the counterplay. This, now, I love this. I love this. This is so much cooler than the C-Lab that I was guessing about. And this is a very, very powerful play that is absolutely shredding Jammers' base. So it's actually a bit of a, not quite a base trade situation, but a half trade, right? Lots of damage being done on both sides, and I think Gecko's getting the better end of it. This is really cool. This is a really cool play. You love to see it. And this is one of those, I mean, when you're this strong of a player, having that plan for what is this client going to do after 15 minutes, you know, after I'm done taking all my CMAX, after I'm done building everything I need to build, what's my plan for the fucking 15-minute mark with this guy? This is like, this reminds me of in Go, the board game Go. You know, they talk about, okay, you think about how this stone is placed now, and you also think about how it's placed 50 moves from now. How is it going to look after the board fills up? And this is exactly that same kind of thing, and that's what I love about this game. That is so cool. And great game. You know, with this res field available for Gecko, it was simply just over. Not to mention, there was no way of stopping this in the base. Really, really well played, and a dominant eco lead all game for the Blue Gecko. Really powerful stuff. That was so fun to watch, I gotta say. I'm gonna step away for just 60 seconds here while we wait for the next game to get up. So don't go anywhere. We got more of this coming straight to you. Alright, I'm back. I'm not going to mention that I did commentary on stream yet. The scary but your Amphib play was OP. Very aggressive, but you didn't. Yeah, they do cost a lot of E, that's true. I'll say this in DMs that no one else. I ran some commentary on stream on that last game. I feel like watching it back. Yeah, I'm personally not feeling like playing right now, but I would love to spec some more if anyone else wants to hop in. Let's see, what else we got going on? What lobbies are up here? I'd love to find like a small teams. I don't especially feel like getting beat up right now, but we'll see. I could go watch some replays, honestly, if this doesn't take off soon. I might do that. There were some good games that I played last night after I stopped stream. Let's see. Not these ones. Oh yeah, there's one versus Irish, then a couple versus Eternal Fear. This will be a fun little series to cover. It's 2 wins and a loss, as you might be able to guess. But I could show, maybe, yeah, we'll do the game versus Irish. That's at least, you know, something to watch. And this was fun, because I was playing a couple games against this other guy, Eternal Fear, who's around, I think, ballpark 15 OS 3 chef, but was playing defensively much above that level. And just wasn't harassing or expanding fast enough. It was this thing of like, you know, it's actually very difficult to break you given equal resources, but I was able to outscale. And so I was coaching this guy on like, you know, here's how you check my scaling and here's how you balance that out. And then after 2 games of that, then fucking the Irish stud shows up. And it's like, okay, now after me doing it to this guy, Irish is going to do it to me and show, give sort of a worked example of how a high-level player actually harasses and, you know, keeps someone in check. And so I have been wanting to go back on this replay and basically just watch it from Irish's POV. Or not literally from the POV, but, you know, with a focus on how Irish plays it. So yeah, standard 3 mechs into 1 solar start. I believe, oh yeah, I was doing winds here because I like to gamble because the wind was pretty high. But Irish doing the normal thing. Then throwing down a wind after that because it remains high. And we can speed this up a little bit. You know, the start of the game, not the most exciting. Getting a bot lab, 1 con, 5 ticks, repeat queue. Pretty good. We'll watch to see if anything changes there. Get those first ticks out, send them across the map. I was going vehicles for my own start, and so I get the rovers out instead of ticks, which if you just do like an attack command onto the ticks, the rovers are going to be able to beat them. And so I was playing very defensively here, and I was getting pretty much a perfect defense, but you'll notice the amount of idle units that I had simply because I didn't want to take any damage. And that's exactly what I was talking about with this other guy, was like, literally, if you're in this situation of trying to play very defensively, then, you know, the best case outcome is break even, which versus a stronger player, that's not good enough. You know, I tried to get this con, I didn't even get that. I at least delayed it. But, you know, I get cleaned up pretty fast over there. And meanwhile, Irish is sending out the pawns over here to start ramping up the pressure. And, you know, I'm expanding back with my con. Irish expanding forward with his, which is actually the better play. If I'm being perfectly honest, but I'm on vehicles, so it's either I use my comm to take these or I get an amphib con, which has higher traction, it can handle the hills. And I didn't feel like expending that much energy, so I'm like, okay, I'll pull my comm back for a little bit. That is one downside to starting vehicles on this map, instead of transitioning. But there you have it. And meanwhile, yeah, Irish actually slightly down on metal income right now, but pretty close to even, slightly up on energy. And certainly with the better positioning here. Yeah, it does not manage to take out that mech because I have an LLT there. But at this point, you know, evaluating this, I mean, who would you say is ahead here, right? Like, this is totally undefended for me, so that's no good. These guys could end it if they knew about it. You see that, you probably assume there's LLTs in there. Of course, there aren't. But, you know, taking stock of the situation, how many cons do we have? Only, yeah, 4 cons out for Irish. Where's the 4th one? Because I see 1, 2, 3, and then 4. It was hiding behind that icon there. Yeah, over here, good comm positioning for me, but Irish, of course, coming up to put that pressure on. And this is the really dicey thing, is that once the comm gets this far forward, I mean, that's sort of implicit harass in a sense, where it's like, you can degun things really fast, you can break through really fast, you are a huge threat, and that forces an allocation of units to defend against, you could think of it as like the potential energy of this comm walking forward. And so that makes it very hard for me to harass and for me to get that damage in. Really incredible, actually, that these mechs haven't died yet. That's unlikely. And you see I was being very optimistic. This was just on a rally, I think, rather than me thinking that's a good spot for that. But I was planning to try to push into this fortification from across the crack. I ended up being spread too thin to pull that off. But yeah, Irish here, I mean, truly just doing the standard things and making it work. I mean, this is... It's the funny thing about RTS, is that the correct moves are all very simple and easy to explain, but actually executing them on time, in time, under pressure, with fog of war, is so difficult. This is the big strength of bots over vehicles on this map, of course, is that you can go on these high grounds, and again, it's like the potential energy. It's like, this could walk forward at any point, so I do need to defend it. But if I'm defending, I'm not harassing, and so now I have units that aren't doing anything except sitting here and waiting, hoping that they might matter someday. And this also, people talk about harassing being high APM. That's one thing this other guy was talking to me about. And it's like, this is high APM when you're actually activating them, although in this case not even really, because they have sort of a queued build move, or a queued harass move. And they fail there, of course, by the way, but point being, they, yeah, there were a few specs in here. The point being, when these guys are on high ground, that's 0 APM. When you give them a Q, that's 0 APM. So it's APM to activate them, but like, it's not APM to just have them in the useful spot for them to be in. So if you understand where you want things to be and what you want them to be doing, then you're going to be in great shape. And now, yeah, you can see Irish slow and steady expanding, not getting shut down by me, up to 5 cons now. I'm at 6, actually, but I'm spending a lot of their build power on dumb shit, you know, building my backline mech still, getting my LLTs and radars up. What's the expand pattern for these guys? Yeah, wow, I mean, you know, almost 8 minutes into the game, these still aren't built yet. That does definitely say that, you know, this isn't a walk in the park by any stretch, but certainly Irish with a comfortable lead here. I think at the moment I'm specking up from Reclaim or something, but yeah, at this point, Really trying to make something happen, not getting it done. I think if I'd broken off like 4 of these dudes and gone like that kind of a thing, and yeah, you can see even my past self having the same thought, that seems like the way to go. I think splitting the army might have been better, actually, and have half of it turn into a defensive force, and half of it go attack. Because the simple fact is, you can beat bots with tanks if you have the right numbers and the right micro, and especially as Armada, which is what I was playing here. I usually play Cortex. But with Armada, you can really pull this off, and this, I think, actually was a good play. So I guess past me had the same idea. I'd forgotten that I did that. But yeah, Irish building this forward line of turrets here, very effective, very strong. Yeah, I'm getting some backline damage in here. I was very proud of this because I do kill a good number of mechs here, and I do slow down that income for a little bit. And I've got my my cons expanding out to the side here. Now, of course, we do see the Stout starting to come out of my opponent, and not just that, but the Janus, which is very scary against the light tanks that I'm still leaning on for my own unit composition. Getting another shell shock route because I'm a perpetual optimist. I'm a dreamer. And yeah, let's see. So with these guys, I forget. I think if you focus fire, then you can kind of. Oh yeah, this. I remember commenting on this actually. The LLT does more damage in a bigger radius if you self-destruct it. You can hold Shift X to see that line. That's actually the radius. I was even calling out the LLT micro there. At this point, I knew I'm losing for sure, and I'm just trying to have fun with it, trying to learn something from it. You know, you got to be a good sport. My energy income was also through the fucking floor at this point. I was failing to scale that properly, and that was a big mistake for me. This guy should be making wins. I should have one of these guys making wins sort of at the edge of my build range. And let's see, I'm curious about Irish's composition. This is all wins now. I was going to look to see if there's any solars in here. Not really at all. So that's, you know, let's see, what's the average wind speed on this map? 14.9, so that does feel correct, right? And yeah, at this point, that's, oh yes, there's solars at the front being built by the commander, I guess. I don't know especially why you'd be building solars instead of wind speed for the commander specifically, but that's what we're seeing here. And by the way, I see there's a few of you in chat here. Feel free to shout out any notes that you might have. I'm always happy to take the feedback. I do appreciate that. But yeah, at this point, Irish cleaning out. One LLT is good versus earlier game units, but Stouts simply laugh at it. It's not enough for this. And this is, yeah, where your expansions start to get very difficult. I was building Twilights here optimistically, but of course I'm stalled on energy, so they're not even cloaked. You know, Twilights, it's two, I should have self-destructed this. 2 benefits to Twilights. Number 1, they can EMP things when they die. And then number 2, you know, players might not notice that they're there if they're just running through. If you just have your move commands queued, right, rather than pausing and killing every single thing. So yeah, and then yeah, defending my base for the time being, but I'm down on metal to such a degree, and I'm down on positioning to such a degree that it's really not clear how I could have a shot in this game. There's really no recovering from this type of position. Finally scaling up energy, and you can see actually, I think I had turrets, or maybe this was later that I assigned these, but at some point I had turrets assigned specifically to boost wind and nothing else, because I recognized that that's the biggest way that I'm behind, which by the way is something that'll scale wind very, very quickly if you do it, but you gotta remember to stop doing it once you have enough wind, or else your turret's gonna be idle. That's no good. So yeah, I mean at this point, let's see, what is there that's worth commenting on here? Let's look at how Irish solidifies the lead here. Obviously spamming down LLTs around the comm, very good move. If you put them right next to each other like this, then obviously you can't do the self-destruct micro with them as much, which is one reason why I do like spacing them out more. However, specifically at the edge of the map, you gotta worry about that, like, that run by at the edge, so I do get, like, extra solidifying that positioning, right? I think specifically at the edge of the map is the one place where it makes sense to do that, and it looks like Irish agrees, spacing these out much more. Back at home, yeah, we see the classic move, 15 bombers queued. One thing that I will be critical of here is I think you want more energy storage, and you want to fill your energy bank before you go into bombers, because look at how much energy they cost. 4,200 a pop, so 15 of them is like, what is that, fucking 50,000 energy or something? And you're pulling, you know, 760 in your income. You definitely want to have that energy available up front. It's very similar to building advanced solars in that way. You want to have that cost ready to go. You don't want to be, like, trying to live paycheck to paycheck, as it were, on paying that bill. So that's one tiny criticism that I will make. I will also point out that you're not building the air mexes. And one possible reason for that could be to avoid showing me that he has air, which makes sense, right? Like, that's definitely, that's you know, I understand why you'd make that call, and if you're saying, okay, I'm ahead on metal, I don't need more metal income, what I need is the element of surprise, then, like, okay, I get it. But for me personally, I would, at the very least, be building those now, if not sooner. Meanwhile, you can see I was going for a gunship snipe, and I had it queued to get gunships and then scouts. I have to cancel that queue to get fighters instead, but it's too little too late. I don't even know where the comm is yet, because I needed the scouts to tell me that. And I was going to try to gunship snipe the comm here, which with 0 fighters up at the time and 0 anti-air turrets up could have potentially worked if I had like 30 more seconds to do it. But unfortunately,
Commander
I did not.
Self-destructed.
And so that's game.
Battle
That was a
ended.
fun one. And I mean, yeah, you can see really the lack of harass on my part means that there's no slowing of the eco-scaling, except there's a couple points. I wonder where it was that I got those mexes. Let's see if we look at metal produced. Does it level off? It levels off a little bit here. Maybe that's where it was. But anyway, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it pops right back up. So that's, you know, I was feeling good about this, and there's maybe about 30 seconds where I deserve to feel good. and then it went right back to me losing. But versus 45 OS, you know, no one should be surprised by that. Is there anything happening here? Oh, good point. Commentary from Gecko here. Exploiter cost really high, really close to the same as Mex Plus LLT. Good point there. And RE the Herring, high opportunity cost. Building it delays the land lab, later land mexes. Yeah, that's fair. You could fall behind on land. And yeah, the thing I like especially about this point is that the Exploiter is significantly harder to kill than the Mex is. So going for the Exploiter instead of Mex Plus LLT makes it harder for the opponent to get an advantage by target firing. So, yeah, fair enough. Now, let's see. Man, min rating 30, we say. Man, I could hop in. I'm gonna lose some OS, but who cares? See if anyone comes along. And, let's see. I don't understand why people keep saying small smolders, because isn't it the same smolders as ever? Did I miss something? Did I miss a memo? Is there a... Oh, let's go. Gecko. All right. Beat me up, Gecko. Let's go. Okay, NP. Yeah, I think I'm going to steal Gecko's move and go for a C start here.
Please choose your starting location.
I wonder, though, do I want to start on land? I don't know. I have to imagine Gecko's going to play this different than last game.
Battle started. You're low on power.
TMZ, are they like a... I know they're like a website. Are they like a magazine, too? It's some fucking gossip thing. National Enquirer special feature. My problem is I don't know shit about gossip. So I'm like not actually good at riffing on this, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, Yeah, for someone who loves gossip, I really don't know as much about it as you'd think I would. And yeah, I'm just being basically as ambitious as I reasonably can be with these, hoping I don't get contested. I wonder if I should get some subs or something. But that's honestly so expensive. 4K metal. I hit 4K energy. God. No, it's not a flagship. So I wonder if that would be a good move. And then, yeah, I don't think I even need the res boat. Yeah, I'll move this guy around. We'll get our first turret up over there. And yeah, I wonder what's optimal here. Because I don't want to... I should have been looking closer at the build queue on the C-Lab. Really studying that. Because I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I'll start eating this. I wonder if it's too... maybe that's premature, right? Because if I need to counter C-Play, then maybe it's bad to be eating the lab. But yeah, once we're on the land, we are going to go vehicles right off the jump here because we do have the metal for it. And we have the energy income for it as well, I believe. And yeah, this guy, just scale for a little bit. Yeah, if one sub comes in, it's going to completely ruin my day. We're just going to hope that doesn't happen. It's really, I think, a large part of what it takes to get good at this game is just being at peace with the fact that you're about to lose some OS. You're playing versus 42. It's not like I'm not going to try to win. I had someone get confused with me about this the other day. He was like, so just to check, like, are you going in with the intention of losing? I'm like, not with the intention, but also...
Need power.
I understand that it's the most likely outcome. And I'm at peace with that. Yep, there's... Okay, yeah. So this is where it's like, okay, I simply am in a lot of trouble if I lose this. So I wonder if maybe I throw down like a torpedo launcher. You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna get that? Oh yeah, let's go. OP micro. And yeah, 1con 5 blitz seems good enough to me. And yeah, if we can get the boat, that would be even better here. What is it actually called? Is it considered a ship? Yes, it is. I'm not sure if that's technically correct in this case. I'm gonna try to eat you. It's not gonna work, but I'm gonna try. I actually don't know if it works or not. I just assume it doesn't. Wait, I think I might be outpacing this. Feels like when you're playing RimWorld and you're like watching that infection percentage go up on a infected wound from a colonist. And you're like, oh my god, will it go up in time? I don't know. Okay, yeah, outmaneuvered, outplayed. And so now this is when we start saying, okay, we need torpedo launchers back home. So that my massive investment, the bulk of my energy income, in fact, is not punished. And then we might also think about doing some energy income inland here. And I'm already thinking about getting bombed, and I also know that I have a ton of space to work with here. So I'm going to be going easy on that. Let's get you back here where you're safe. We'll even build a second torp launcher further back for you. And the big thing is going to be, I'm anticipating that I am going to be behind on C, and that Gecko is investing heavier into C than I am, so I'm going to say, okay, we really, really, really want to... So come on, man. to make sure that we can take any advantage on land that is available to us. Get some lashers at too, mainly because they have long line of sight, so they're very good in small numbers on land. Build those inland mexes as well, favoring those over the coastal ones because they're less likely to die in embarrassing ways. Oh wow, wasting metal. Okay, I'm just bad at the game. And yeah, torpedo launchers, thankfully keeping this alive. And there's Gecko Space. So we are going to try to harass these mexes. Oh man, that's painful. That's a herring. That's going to outrange my shit too, actually. So that's really, I mean, unless it stays in range, that's going to be really painful for me. Let's see if I can do what I saw happen last game and take it out with those guys with missile trucks. And not hold. Turn that off. Good God! Don't wait. Fucking why? Yeah, the why. The mnemonic for that, by the way, is why the fuck would you ever want to stop moving? Why is this even an option? Why is this a command you can give? Why, oh why, oh why? Oh no, yeah, you want to go there, and then patrol over there. And then, yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of that, and a few of those, and then some of this. I think I will tighten that up just a little bit. I'm not going to be as efficient as the pro gamers that I was watching. But yeah, we are going to start doing our little expansion thing, send you around the coast.
Low power.
Maybe send you around the other coast. I don't think these ones are going to stay up, but we can try for it. I might even go into air, actually. I think that's kind of my my evil plan here, is to do fast air, get those air mechs. Because if we're splitting the sea mechs, then I don't reasonably have any right to think that I have an eco lead. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I can. I don't think I can reach that. But with air, I can harass the sea. I can harass the land. I do, of course, need to get my income up to pull this off. Now, what? I heard a torpedo fire. Was that a sub? Was it over here? I don't know. Now, yeah, what's going on from Gecko? You're being too quiet. You're being too quiet, my friend. I don't trust that. Okay, yeah, and you're really hard committing into that sea play. So I do think air for me. And now we do have the money for it. I'm gonna throw down a metal storage because I'm that kind of a gamer. And yeah, we're gonna catch this. I think if we flank this, then maybe we have a shot, right? There we go. Yeah, killing that. It will, of course, get rezzed. But, you know, we're getting something done. These guys go on my alt control group. My alternate. Not literally the alt group. And yeah, this guy goes up to play mid as much as I can. Similarly, you. We're going to come over here, kill those. We're going to move in with the missile trucks. And yeah, I'm really expecting trouble. And I'm going to take my own note and throw down an energy storage before I build my fucking bombers. But yeah, this will be good in that... Oh yeah, I don't want to run them into herrings, because obviously those have anti-air capacity. Now we'll get some bombers up. Because I really...
Aircraft
Oh yeah,
spotted.
seaplane platform. Yep, seaplanes detected. I'm on the seaplane diet. I seaplane and I eat it. I don't know. That's the dumbest joke I've ever made. Not even a joke, really. And it's a joke if you have a bad sense of humor. Which I do. I'm a fish. You can't ask too much of me. Oh wow, destroyers. Really going for the OP plays here, aren't we? Okay, we're gonna bring these guys, and we're gonna just do our best. Where's the build power in this base? Not a lot of it, but what we have in that regard is right here. So let's hope that we can take it out. And then we're gonna try for these. That's our next target. Okay. Total failure. Total abject failure. We need to be getting... I think maybe even a more inland lab. I think too much of my shit is coastal. Is my main problem here. God, this is so much APM to juggle all this stuff. I don't know how they do it, those pros. But I feel like I'm doing okay in terms of winning the land fight, at least. Which is a huge investment, so this would be very good, obviously, to win. What? I lost... Oh, I simply flew my fighters into anti-air, and that's why I lost those. I should have expected that from the jump. And now, of course, these gunships are going to do a great job at harassing my my mexes. That's fucked up. Putting an exploiter right next to that. Oh man, okay. Just style on me a little bit here. It's all good though. It's all good. Remember, it's a game and you play games to have fun. And if you can't find fun in losing, then you got bigger problems in life. Now, here I actually can use my fighters as intended because they are not standing next to anti-air turrets. Oh, I forgot to ever send something back to take those out, and now I suspect it's too late to do so. Noticing tanks in my opponent's composition, those are almost certainly resurrected tanks. Yeah, we might as well eat this, actually. Let's eat that and bring you guys inland. And then we'll eat that and that, because we simply do not expect these things to live. So let's recoup the cost of them. I'm amazed that I'm not winning the fighter battle, though. That's something that, frankly, I'm very surprised by here. Now these guys... Gosh, what do we do from this position? You know, this sucks because I had an intuition that's... I think I even said it out loud. That was how this game was going to go, was that Gecko would invest much harder into C this time, and would win on account of that. And then, of course, we see exactly that happening. I'm going to throw down a bot lab, get some res bots out. Would love to have those. I'm very happy for the decision to go for exploiters here. I think that is sort of being borne out as correct. I'm gonna get like 5 shurikens as well to shut down this harass as much as I can. Very optimistic of me to be going for those. We're also gonna think... can we think about getting the C-Mex up? Can we? Is that even a realistic thing? I doubt it. I am gonna try for the island mechs here. See if I get shut down on that. And now, thinking about last game, I have to expect that I'm going to have amphib tanks walking in at some point here. So let's see, what can we do? Yeah, these guys have killed as much as they can kill, which is good news for me. Because it means I'm not going to be much more fucked than I am. At least in the near term. You know. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Yep, okay, and there's the turrets finally kicking in. I think I want to move these onto different control groups now. at this point. I don't think I did earlier, but I do think I do now. Wasting metal, good god. Yeah, let's not waste metal. Have you considered having an appropriate amount of metal and spending it the appropriate way? Have you considered good plays instead of bad? You know, some people really swear by playing well. They say it's better. They say it's better. Yeah, I mean, there's 100 ways I could die here. The game's basically already lost. I've lost all the CMX. It's only a matter of time, really. Gecko might not even have to do Amphib. Might just be able to get by with just pushing me with D1 bots. You know, I'm spending all of my resers just trying to eat up trees for energy. So, like, what am I gonna do, you know? Oh yeah, there's that harass coming in now. Later than expected, but you know, it was inevitable in any case. And then, yeah, more ground. Gosh, yeah, I'm in rough shape here. This is a difficult map.
T2 unit detected.
Yep, that's honestly, I should just GG now, but well, maybe I will. Maybe I will tap out. I have enough metal for T2, but not enough energy. Didn't scale it properly. It's mostly because I lost all of my, I was relying so incredibly hard. I'll call it GG. Lost all of my, YouTube.
Commander self-destructed.
Of course. Wow, all of these mechs still not rebuilt.
Battle
So let's look at the stats there. Okay, I was actually there. Up until the 5-minute mark, I was doing okay. And yeah, that investment into C, I think. Man, I don't know how I should have played that. I wonder. Yeah. You too. Any notes before you go? That's all right if not. Just thought I'd ask. And then let's see what else is going on here. Upside down Supreme Land. I don't know what that means. I'll probably remake a different 1v1 lobby with a different minimum rating so that I have a better chance of living. But we'll wait to see if Gecko has anything to say. Yeah, it was tough. I had a feeling you would invest more than last game and win. From that IDK, you killed a lot of my energy. So that felt worth. But maybe could have done it for cheaper. Yeah, I was really torn. Yeah. Just in time to stop bad bombers. Oh, that's interesting. The seaplane bombers have a really tight cluster, so they're good for killing things like labs and geo, high priority single targets. That's good to know. I actually was not aware of that. Maybe I think my E-income was too low to afford it. Big upfront cost. After trying bombers. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Take it easy. And I'll host, well, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. We got a rotative situation. We got Game versus AI with 4 people in it, baffling. It says 3v3, it's got 4 people, I don't know. Noob casual lobby, max rating 25. Am I currently over 25 on my big team? So I'm at 26. So, bad luck for me. Yeah, we're just gonna host. Rename 1v1 me bro. All welcome. And we'll do a good 1v1 map like I like Falendel. Certalina might be fun. I don't think I've played that 1v1. I usually play at small teams, and it's not enough mechs for like 3 people, but that's kind of what makes it fun. But like 1v1, I could see it being one of those that really hinges on harass. Bong Master. Alright, hell yeah. Now that's a username I can get behind. Hey, good luck. Taking a couple pulls off the dab pen, just in honor of that username. You know, it's only sporting, really.
Please choose your starting location.
So let's go. This, I think, is the better side to start on, because, of course, you've got the geo right there, easy to defend if you want to build it. You don't have to walk cons across the map to get to it. In terms of defense, it's less open in the back. 1 LLT can cover this, and your expansion path is pretty simple. You could think about getting an exploiter here, maybe 1 or 2 of them over here. Now this guy's 13 OS2 chef, so
Battle
unless
started.
this is a Smurf or a Freak Genius, we probably are going to need to get that advanced to get a good win here. One thing to know about this map, shitloads of metal on the sides. Oh yeah, one other thing to note is that they have rocks partially covering some of the mineral spots, or trees rather, which to me it was an absolute psychopath who designed that aspect of this map. That's just a horrible thing to do to a person. But whatever. Now let's see here. We're gonna start bots because there's a lot of reclaim to get. Good amount of reclaim in each of the corners. You know, about 300-ish metal. Which is nothing to sneeze at, you know, that's a good number of bots. That's 2 solars. So let's get it rolling. Now, Bong Master. Maybe in either corner. You should never make assumptions about how a 2-chev is going to play. That's one little life pro tip for you right there. So 2 grunts right off the bat, then we're going to grab our Grave Robber, our Con, a couple more grunts for defense, and then, yeah, maybe another one of those, and then just really go hard on that. And our goal here is going to be to avoid making rockets if we can. You know, because you need rockets to, like, break a front line, but ideally we would prevent the front line from being established via superior map control, which we can get from just having a lot of units in a lot of places. So that's going to be sort of the dream
You're
here.
low on power.
Thank you for that feedback. It would be nice if it played like 5 seconds sooner. It was like, you're about to be low on power. Because that's when it's actually actionable feedback and not just a criticism. You know what I mean? Like, let's get the ordering right here. We could really improve this process. But whatever, that's just me. I don't know, I'm a fish, what do I know? Okay, so like I said, never want to make assumptions about how the Tuchev is going to play. Now, funny thing here, the lab actually does block the LLT from firing on me, because you can see the lab stands pretty tall here. So I'm just gonna lock on in. There's nothing stopping me from doing so, and presumably my expectation is that this is going to be a pretty quick match, and that someone stronger is probably going to join and spec while this is going on. Okay. The second one being body blocked by the corpse from the first actually keeps it alive. It's fallen comrade rescuing it from certain doom. It's almost romantic if you think about it just the right way. Kind of beautiful. Moving on up here. Now, I do not feel fear in my heart in this game, I will say. So we're just gonna do things sort of the simple, easy way, which means getting a lot of exploiters up, and sort of pushing upwards. So let's see. Going to try to get map control. Now, of course, those plasma bots, which I did see my opponent is starting with, are quite strong, and they're especially strong when they're playing from high ground. So I do want to be respectful of that threat, and bear in mind that trying to push into those could be dangerous, but if I see I'm not getting shot at, then I'm going to assume that I'm not currently in danger. Other thing about them, lots of burst damage. They have sort of a longer fire time, but more burst damage, and that actually makes them good at taking out exploiters, because they can burst through that high HP pool, and they can kind of like fire, fall back, fire, and take less damage relative to the amount of damage they're doing, because of that attack pattern. Now, I'm currently wasting energy, which means I need to get more energy income. Not actually how it works, but it's not a bad idea to scale your energy when you're going wind. We're currently actually really in a good spot, and that should make sure that nothing times out. That little bit of micro there. Now we're going to move in on this guy, who has that thug sitting right there. And we're going to, I think, yeah, just sort of go in from multiple angles, right? And just try to win as quickly as possible. Avoid getting shot by the comm, because you really want your units to stay alive. And this is someone who has not yet learned about the LLT not being able to fire anywhere within its range. And that's sort of what's leading to the many problems that we see happening here. And we're going to stay active with these units on this side to force the grunts to pay attention to this side, and the comm as well. And if we can bait those units to move in, then we move in from the opposite side, right? Setting up both flanks here. This is a good sort of way to play if you're trying to do a lot of damage quickly. We're going to focus fire that next if we can, and we're going to focus fire next the LLT, since that's the biggest threat. And we've donated a good amount of metal, but we've also just killed this dude's entire base. So I think it balances out, you know? Now, next things we're going to do, next priorities, I think have the comm take some metal, right? Like, we should be more active with the comm. These, like I said, these things... Oh, okay.
Enemy commander
and we're
destroyed. Battle ended.
So that's how you win a 1v1 in 5 minutes. Okay. And he's out. So let's see if anyone else joins in here. And we'll check the old friends list, see if anyone's in a fun game. Nothing that looks too good. Rotato noob friendly. I could do that. That's weird because it's not showing up on this list. but it doesn't show that. Like, this should still be in lobby, but... Oh, we maybe have... Oh, flying, okay. 32 OS, we get a real game here. Hey, fly. Hey, fly. Now, this is going to be a tough one. This is definitely going to be much tougher than the last one. I do think that my OS is a little high. It's definitely, I can reliably beat 25 and under, but
Please
all that really means
starting location.
is that you should be at least 26 OS. But you kind of keep climbing the more you do it, you know? So, like, people over 30 OS are extremely challenging to play against for me in my experience. But of course, we love a challenge here on the Sweaty Fish channel. So let's get to it. GLHF. Right on.
Battle started.
Standard start here. Wind's not incredible right now, so we'll queue up that solar. Being prepared to change that if the need arises. And once again, starting bots because Reclaim is OP on this map. And we're going to start with the Grave Robber into a con. Get some grunts out for survival's sake. A couple more cons. Actually, second Grave Robber before we get the extra cons. Reason being, first one is for metal, and second one's for energy, which we are going to desperately need. And it's a weird thing that the Metal Reclaim doesn't show up in the Reclaim widget. Despite there being several hundred of it. I don't know. I don't actually understand why that is. I'm tempted to throw an LLT back here just for safety's sake. But I think maybe the better thing is to focus on, like, radar. But currently we're stalled on energy, so we're going to get neither of those. Yeah, we're going to have these dudes standing guard on the back entrance. And going to scale a little more. Wow, the wind is, frankly, so horrible right now. Really, really bad. And that's not doing us any favors. So yeah, just going to chill here, get that positioning just right. Don't want them overlapping too much, because you want them covering a wider area. And, yeah, we're just going to sort of reclaim everything. This guy can even go over here, get that metal. Optimistically hoping we can do so. And then this dude, Exploiter there, and then maybe a normal Mechs here. Or maybe the other way around, actually. Is Exploiter, Mechs, Exploiter. And we're going to have the comm help out with that once you are in range to build. In the meantime, maybe we scale more energy. Okay, and there's the grunts coming out. So let's try not to die, first and foremost. And yeah, you spotted my my Reser, and you really, really want to get that kill. Understandably so. That would be a good high-value target for you. But the path that those grunts came from tell me that he spawned over there, which is what I would expect as well. So they're going to be probably expanding out, you know, sort of along the diagonals from me. Would not be the worst idea to take one grunt and send it over the corner to try to match what I just saw my opponent do. This LLT here should just barely, it's actually just barely not covering that. But I don't think that'll come up in practice. And these guys, I want to group them up before they pick a fight. We'll add a con back into the queue here so that I can keep expanding and scaling. The annoying thing about the Reclaim not showing up on the widget is that now I can't tell if my opponent's getting it either, right? Because that's something that ordinarily you would watch for. That's not going to be possible for me here. We are going to repair that up for obvious reasons. We're going to see if you're expanding over here yet. Sort of, oh, yes. That's a large force, which tells me that over here you might be weak. And we're going to get your res bot, of course, unless you pull it back at the perfect time, which you have done. And the comm is over here, so we do need to respect that. We're going to boost this constructor. And I do wonder if that's the better expansion path for the comm. It definitely brings our comms head-to-head. And let's see, what are we doing here? Maybe this is the time to get that Geo up, or start building it anyway. And these guys, we can unify into one force and then start microing as such. We can throw down the things I want to have. Oh, we'll pick off that con. That's a huge pick off if we can get that. You have to walk around the corner, so you're not going to be able to escape. Sorry, bud. And then, yeah, we're getting good exchanges here as well. We can just walk forward, actually, right now. Because those units were spread too thin. Bearing in mind, of course, that we are leaving Rex on my opponent's side of the map. So, actually, any fight that doesn't lead to the end of the game is actually just handing them metal. But hopefully we can get these mexes. That would be... Oh, huge! Okay, you're actually doing this as well. You're getting the exploiter, too, over here. Did you get that idea from me, or are we just both smart? I wonder. I will deny that. Of course, I lose all the grunts for doing so, but I do think it's worth, actually. I do actually think that's worth. You guys are going to build that, and then build some of those, and then come on back. And, yeah. Meanwhile, definitely keeping radar up, because I know the comm's in this vicinity. And I really, really don't want to die to the comm. There's few things that are worse to get surprised by, you know? I wonder if I can get any of that reclaim. I mean, probably not, but can't hurt to try. And now, let's see. I'm starting to feel as if I have a deficit of build power in base. I think that may be true.
Need power.
Build power and normal power, it would seem. Understandable. I'm going to pop these dudes onto low priority, because I actually care more about getting the Geo up. And we're going to say never mind to that, just give me units, keep me alive. This is 5 grunts, not a scary number, but not an unscary number either. You know, you always want to be respectful. Oh, yo, so OP. Okay, and that's why you respect it, because you never know. You never know when they're going to get you. And let's try to keep you alive. And get a second one of those up if we can. And yeah, having the comm boost this really gives me a huge edge in terms of build power. Now, the one thing is, if I stall on energy, then I'm fucked, right? Okay, the Geo just came up. So this actually is really good. You're firing blanks here. You're trying to fire on me, but you can't actually do it. Now, we want to get that up, and then we want radar to see if these mechs have been taken by the opponent at this point. Now, these, I think, I feel good moving away from that area now. And I think I want to go into mesas from here, right? I think that actually makes sense. Let's see. What can I do to win this game? I think, yeah, more build power. I think these guys come back and make a build turret, maybe 2 even. Because I'm worried about that. I really want this radar up. That'll give me so much useful information. And then, yeah, we're going to just be building exploiters all over the dang place. And another radar gives me more advanced notice of any trouble. Comm is pretty isolated here. I could try for sort of a You know what? I'm gonna be a real shitbird, and I'm gonna try for a calm snipe type play. I wonder... Actually, never mind. I think he sensed the danger and pulled back. Good play, good play. Yeah, spamming LLTs here. Mass grunts out of my opponent. Which is really, I mean, like a surprising number of them. Which versus my thugs, I feel good about that matchup, right? And in particular, if you walk into Twin Guards, that's a fight I take 7 days a week, right? That's, you know, I'm never gonna be unhappy about that. That's good for me, for sure. And yeah, we're just gonna be spamming those LLTs with the comm here, as you do. Get this radar up, the sooner the better. And yes, my opponent is also going into thugs, possibly to counter the exploiters. Yeah, realizing you can snipe that very easily with the level of burst fire that you have available. And in fact doing so. I'm gonna move my comm back, because I don't want it to die. And so far, a very even game here, actually. Pleasantly so. So I gotta keep scaling, and I need to remember... That's too much. Okay. Gotta get these guys out of radar range. Test my opponent's object permanence. And get resers over here, because I would love to res anything that ends up dying in this little conflict here. Need to maintain good radar coverage, because, yeah, my radar over here is blocked on the low ground. Got a dead spot there that they're exploiting. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can get something cool going on over here. So res everything you can, then repair everything you can. And then now this is where you start to wonder. I think my opponent has enough units that I'm not expecting to see, like, air or anything of that nature coming out here. But you never know. Now, let's see. I think I'm outnumbered here pretty heavily. Which is when you fall back to try to prevent some of them from firing while you're all firing. You get a slightly more efficient trade that way. I do feel... I'm feeling the heat a little bit. I'm feeling the heat. But I don't think it's over by any stretch. Certainly not. So, let's see. How do we continue to put the heat on our opponent here? Yeah, you guys keep doing that. I think maybe more wind, even. Because, yeah, it feels like I've been out macroed somehow, and I'm like, well, when did I fall behind? It looked even all game to me. So let's see, maybe I deny some mexes. Maybe I can kill some of these guys, right? Maybe that's the play here? Yeah, that's an exploiter. We kill those. That's probably a radar at the edge of the... Oh, no, it's a con. Weird. Okay. I'm gonna kill that, too. And yeah, I might just walk this guy, this group. Like, if I just walk this group into your base, can you stop me? Right? Like, that's the question I'm asking here.
Aircraft spotted.
Oh, and there it is. There's the fucking bombers. It's always the fucking bombers. And, yeah, you are Cortex, so I need to think about Shuri as well at this point in time. Geez, these guys are just in the worst positions to deal with this. My build turrets are, that is. Great. What a situation to be in. And so, you know, there goes the game. The comm was, I think, over in this region, so I'm just going to walk everything in that direction and pray. Meanwhile, I walk my own comm back. Christ almighty. Not even leaving anything to res. And what I want to know is, how did I get out macroed so hard? Because it didn't feel like that was happening until I noticed that it had happened. And obviously at this point I know how I would be behind. It's not hard to see here, but how did it get to this point? You know what I mean? That's the real question I have. So let's figure that out after this game. That's one thing that helps you deal with losing a game, is getting excited to look at the replay. You know, if you can find yourself feeling that way sincerely, then that's something that'll really be good for you. Now let's see what we can do here. The game's not over yet. I mean, it's effectively over, but, you know, there's still the formalities to go through. And I, for one, do like to stand on formality in this case. You know, there's differing opinions on that. There's a range of philosophies, we'll say, on how to approach that. You know, some people say you should resign as soon as you lose. Some people will just leave you in a hard contain and fucking make you decide to resign and just refuse to kill you, just to fuck with you, which, of course, is very toxic. But I'm one who says, you know, even if I know I'm going to lose, I like to make my opponent work for it. Okay, so you do have T2
detected.
up. And that is where everything I just said kind of goes out the window, because it's like, okay, yeah, fucking GG, fine. Like, you do... I don't have an answer to that. I thought I killed that. Let's see if I can get the Geo. That would be a good pickoff, if so. 2 LLTs on it, so probably not. And is it built? Yes, it is built. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I can kill that, right? Okay, so that's my consolation prize. I still lose the game because you've got T2 and an eco advantage. I'm going to turn off repeat here, and I'm going to eat these. Oh, and I lost my own Geo. Fuck me, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm just down in 1,000 ways. Hurry up and kill me. It's frankly toxic to leave the game going at this point when you're this far ahead. Like, you know it's over. Just end it. What could you possibly be waiting for? Like, it's literally, my view on it is, if you know the game's over and you don't end it, then you're being rude. And if you don't know the game's over, then, like, how? Then you're just showing that you don't understand the game. Right, like that's kind of the thing of it, is like you genuinely need to be so confused to not know that you're in a winning position right now. So like, just go claim your win. But we are going to try to tech up to T2. You know, better late than never. And see if we can pull anything out of our hat here. I am going to have those guys res, those guys reclaim, and that's going to be Fiends coming across the map at me here. Twin Guards are actually weirdly good against Fiends, so I think that's what I'm going to spam down now on the ground. You're going to run off into the corner, so that even if they chase you, they're taking a disadvantageous position. Right? They're running away from everything else that matters in the game. And we're just going to reclaim any amount of metal that we can get our hands on here. To help fund our own T2 transition, which is going to be late and unsuccessful, but, you know, you gotta try. You just gotta try. And you guys simply gotta try to get that reclaim. Yeah, eat. No time to waste. Just fucking eat. Except you, stay alive. Stay alive, please, and thank you. Yeah, we are... I mean, we're trading roughly evenly here, but an even trade is a loss in this context. Okay, our T2 Con is out, so we can start upgrading mexes, although it is an open question which ones are even safe enough to be worth bothering with. Oh boy. And I think maybe Sheldon's, right? Like, maybe that's the play here. I'm gonna get a engineer out. That dude can spam down con turrets once we need them. I don't think we need them yet. My god, that's a lot of fiends. So that genuinely will just be able to snipe my comm. And that's the indicator that this game is lost for real. The only scenario in which we live is the scenario in which he doesn't know he's already won. So hurry up and win, that's what I say. Like, genuinely, it's so annoying to me. Like, on principle, I refuse. Like, I'm not gonna give you my OS, you have to take it. But I do get annoyed when you are in a position where you could take it, and you either don't know that or refuse to acknowledge it. I'm like, that frankly cheapens everything that led up to this point, right? Like, that cheapens the whole game. If you're telling me now that you're clueless enough that you didn't understand the situation you're in. I'm gonna get a Spectre to try to EMP these guys. Oh, how do you know my comm's right here? Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could, if you self-destructed those, you could have sniped them. But you're apparently too bad to do that. And now we do actually see our income picking up here. And I will move the Spectre over here to EMP these dudes as they come on up. And yeah, we're gonna do our best here to not die. Some real cowardly plays out of my opponent here. Real cowardly plays. I'm not just saying that to, like, shit on the guy that's beaten me. I'm like, genuinely, if you don't know that you've won at this point, or if you don't believe that you've won at this point, then, like, you have problems, you have issues. I'm on a quarter of the map. What am I gonna do to you? Literally, what am I gonna do to you? Now I'm gonna send this dude ready to EMP frontliners that come up towards me, but also looking for the comm, low-key. Trying to detect that comm if I can. My god, that is a lot of these dudes. Don't love to see that, but I will try to kill them, I guess. And the only reason I can think of for me still being alive is my opponent's cowardice. I know I keep saying it keeps being true. And I don't want to lose the Ghost if I don't have to. The Spectre, whatever, man. If I don't have to, right? Like, that's basically what this is hinging on for me, is like, I will EMP it to protect myself. I would prefer for that not to be necessary. And I am getting free damage here with my long-range artillery. I could get a... I don't mind the idea of getting a radar up on the hill there. And I think I'll send this dude to boost the T2 con as well. Yeah, let's... there we go. And now we actually are denying things to my opponent, right? We are actually... dealing eco damage. God only knows what's going on back home for this guy. Oh, that radar's so good to have. Holy fuck, that's so nice. And we'll get a second one over here, even. Persecutor? Fucking bizarre play, but okay. With the splash damage from Fiends, my positioning is like 10 times better than this guy's in that engagement. One of them does barely, does come close to speaking through, does not succeed in the end. Now, these are just radar blips to my opponent. Does not know that those are not T2 units, so they are actually scarier than they have any right to be. And that's good for me. Now let's see if we can continue doing damage here. Yeah, we're going to stop that. We are going to prevent that from going up. And yeah, again, the method of last resort is definitely EMPing these guys, but ideally we kill them before it comes to that. We might actually, yeah, might need to pull the button. Okay, and now, yeah, we are gonna lose some Sheldons. We've done a good amount of damage with them, but they're not gonna live forever. Get a couple more Spectres. Those guys were going better than I thought they would. And I noticed the army's not over here, so we will put our army over there. And a mammoth is an absolutely fucked up thing to build. It's bordering on war crimes. But, you know, that's the world we find ourselves in, where gamers think it's okay to do things like this. Something up there, and I would love to know what it is, so I'm gonna take a 2-fiend task force to evaluate that situation. Oh, there's your jammer. Let's kill that. And now if I had real APM, I'd be trying to build a second force of Sheldons to make similar plays on the other flank here. But I'm not that strong, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. Okay, yeah. I thought they might be trying to build artillery up there. That's, in fact, not what was happening at all. We're gonna run these guys in just to be annoying. Get that ghost up, Spectre. The nice thing about these, of course, being that they are immune to the problems that get posed by radar jammers. If you have radar jammers fucking you up, then obviously those cannot stop a invisible unit from seeing. They just prevent radar locks. Oh yeah, okay, so you're making the same plays I am. Good shit, bud. Good shit. I do love it when you make a play and then like a minute later your opponent's like, oh yeah, that would be smart. And they're doing the same thing. That's a funny little compliment that you can indirectly pay to someone. Okay, we'll target down the repairing units before we target down the mammoth. Doing that, of course, with the set target command. So that I don't mess with their movement. Oh, interesting. Okay, so artillery has gone up over here. You are really dug in, aren't you? Oh, and I lost my little cloak dude. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm way behind. I'm mega behind here. But oh well. You know, what else is new, right? Get like 10 res bots out. And this dude goes over here. I think we want to res, not reclaim, actually. Since we seemingly can afford to. And let's see. Definitely want to be spreading our units out. And now this, I wonder if I go into bombers. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that actually isn't stupid at all. Let's get that, and let's have you guys do that. And then my opponent for sure has an advanced geo at this point. So if we can get bombers in along the side of the map and pop the A geo, then I think we're actually in amazing shape in this game. Because that'll take out a good chunk of the base with it. Well, notice I, of course, have not upgraded my own geo to advanced, because I know what that would do to my income if it ever pops. And I mean, I also know what it does to my income to leave it unbuilt, but like, you know, you gotta pick your battles. So let's see, we have that up. That would be funny to make an LRPC. That would be, how much is that again? Not even 5k metal. On this map, maybe that is actually the OP move. Oh, you know what? You know what? You know what? Fuck me, I'm so evil. After my bombers are done, that's what I'm gonna do. We don't even need more than like 10 of them, really. Or 6 or whatever the fuck I'm making. We don't need more than this number that's currently in queue. That number is enough to satisfy my bloodlust. And yeah, so now we're going to take those guys, pop them over there, spread them out, and then finally queue them to bomb onto that. And then we're going to get like 5 fighters for 10 fighters, and then we're going to eat that lab. Was that a... yeah, it was. Okay, so we're gonna Walk on that.
T3 unit
Oh my god,
detected.
you're joking, dude. See, this is someone who doesn't know when to just end the game. Like, bro, you don't need... There was no need to go T3 in this game. Like, are you just stunting? Like, what point do you think you're making by doing this? Okay, there is some anti-air taking out some of my bombers. Are any gonna get through? Are any gonna get through? I was correct, but there's an AGO here. We'll see if I can kill it in time. My god. Yeah, now I feel less bad about my LRPC idea, actually. Okay, yeah, no, they do not take it out. That's a bummer. Okay, we are gonna eat this, and we're just gonna go for the big gun. I'm not above it, especially versus someone who's playing the game this way. I'm like, that actually is pretty funny. Let's get it done. Wasting metal. Okay. Get a metal storage up. But like, why don't you walk forward? Truly, why? What do you stand? What are you afraid of? You know what I mean? Because the longer you give me to do dumb shit like this, the more you should be afraid. But you don't seem to understand that. Now let's see how long it'll take me to get LRPC online here. About a minute? Oh wow, less than that even. And then as soon as that's done, we need to start moving into big turrets that can fight versus T3 units. And we want to put any chip damage on them that we can as well. That's so fucked, dude. It's a shame it can't hit the AGO. That would be much better if it could, but I wanted to put it in build turret range, which
Low
means
power.
Keeping it further back than that. Oh yeah, I forgot how much it costs to fire. And of course, that's the issue is that we're spending all of our energy building this bulwark now, so we gotta get just one of those and call it one and done over there. We're gonna aim that over there. Tremendously satisfying, I have to admit. Oh, didn't, okay, yeah. Should've just let it die then. Got some spectators in here. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the absolute fucking nonsense that is this game. This is not what I would necessarily... It's good in the sense of entertaining. This is not a game to learn from. But, you know, put me in a situation, as I always say. We're gonna focus down that demon. That is the #1 threat. Demon goes down. If those guys live, then I want them to dedicate their lives to building twin guards. Literally, what is this guy afraid of? Like, you just gave me a demon to res. You should be afraid now. But, like, what took you so long to push? Okay, you got plasma bubbles up now, my man. I mean, come on. Come on. Like, just fucking... Why haven't you collected your win yet? You do not get more or less for taking longer. The game doesn't check your metal income, LOL. How would I have more than you if I had a quarter of the map? And you have 3/4. And you have earlier T2.
that situation. I would love to learn it.
We're gonna go back into bombers and just make like 50 of them. These guys are gonna keep going through, the rest are gonna pull back for defense. We're going to cut this because that's not helping me right now. We're going to cut this because we have a lot of res bots already. And we're actually going to eat. We're going to res the mexes and then eat everything else. And the idea is that if all these guys fly in at the exact same fucking time, you can only kill so many of them, right? Yeah, you see that I now have a demon. I wonder how I got that. I think maybe mammoths. Maybe I repeat few mammoths. And call that enough fighters to go with. And I'll send in my own fighters. I'll send in my own fighters with my bombers. Sort of tank some of the anti-air hits, right? Like... So that's the thing, is that, like, literally just with the units on the field, I still cannot win, even if this works. But it will be a satisfying victory in principle, if it works. Yeah, no. Okay. Okay, I'm bored. We could have played a whole second round in the time that took. Oh, Eternal Fear. That's the same guy from yesterday that I was talking about. I am not going to I don't like to hand out OS. I like to make people work for it. But you did not seem to be interested in working, just sitting around and LOL. Wasting. Only have one life to live. Why would you spend it idling? Well, that's very generous, so thank you, I guess, but it was physically impossible for me to win that past like 25 mins. And I think you know that if you got to VDOS. Watch it back on stream and see it looks from the other side. Let's see what else we got here. 4v4 intermediate. I'm not sure I'm intermediate. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the game. It reminds me of like a cat playing with its food. It's like, you know that mouse is dead. You could just kill it. But you gotta bat it around or something. Eternal fear. Eternal fear. All right. Frozen Gopher. It's kind of a dark name. Want to play this? That last game was so, like, mind-numbingly boring that I'm like, I gotta, like, slap myself in the face or something just to wake up.
Please choose your starting
I don't know if that
location.
came through on the mic at all. I actually did it. But, it's hard to do with headphones on, I'll tell you that. There's, like, a very small area where you can actually pull it off. All right, there we go. That actually got a little bit of adrenaline flowing. I'm back in the game. GLHF.
Battle started.
Reclaiming that fucking tree. Slows me down 5 seconds on my fucking opening. That's so broken. And is that a rock over here too? No, it just looks like one. Going for that wind start because I'm a fucking psycho. And 4 is too many, frankly. But last few games I've been bottlenecked, so not today. Excuse me. Couple of grunts, couple of cons, more grunts, more cons. You certainly don't need more than like 4 cons, at least as long as you keep them all alive. But I like going up to that number. I like having a lot of build power in base. And I think, you know, having it with cons gives you the option to expand at your leisure, rather than, you know, having to plan it out more.
Low power.
So there are advantages there. There's obviously also advantages to leaning on having fewer cons and more con turrets. Specifically, longer range is better for base defense. And also, you don't have to micro them as much because they're not walking around and blocking each other and nonsense like that. Alright. Alright, that is an early grunt, so I would love to get an early radar. I am going to catch it if it tries to come back around here. Alright, we got more grunts coming out, so we're just gonna do one of these little types of cues. Not going to allow that attack to come through. And 5, I think, is enough for this defense, because you've only got 3 attacking units. So, I'm gonna do that. And then, yeah, try to get good positioning, but, you know, we do our best over here. Only so much you realistically can do. Yeah, not gonna let you get in over here. This guy must have RTS experience, because the APM and the micro are not so bad, honestly. It's really fun to go up against. It's like, here's someone who's actually not playing Bard just because they have low APM and they're lazy. You know, you do get some of those as well. Myself included, I'm for sure one of them, where I'm like, I like this game's actually at my speed. But then there's the people who actually can play at high speed, and they like other aspects of the game. And It's cool to go up against those folks, because you see a different side of the game than you're used to playing. Or at least than I am. Alright, moving on up here. I wonder if he took the close spawn, actually. It's possible. Yeah, notice how many more of my units are firing than his in that case. There was similar numbers, but much better positioning from me. And this is why we talk about arcs being important. Why we talk about, I mean, not so much arcs, that's more of a StarCraft thing, but like, you know what I mean? Let's... Since I think that base is probably not occupied, we can kind of set these guys up on little patrol queues. And we'll find out very quickly if I'm wrong. And we're going to grab the rocks over here. Important to get those rocks. And modify our build queues a little bit. Yeah, wow, took the close start. Surprising to me, actually. I've seen some strong players do it, so I think it's certainly not impossible to play that way. But it does always surprise me. It's not what I find to be intuitive, I'll put it that way. It's not to say that I'm the perfect gamer or anything like that. Not to say I know what's ideal. Good engagements over here. Good defense out of my opponent. This is the guy I was talking about last night, or no, earlier when I was doing replay review, where I was like, this dude had really good defense, and just sort of needed to toughen up the rest of the game, tighten up the rest of the game. Because it's like, oh, come on, guys. No.
Low power.
Do your fancy thing. Watch for expansions. Okay, so I'm going to have one dude go on to that duty. And, oh yes, that's potentially a big attack coming through. So we're going to move back to catch that. I'm on low power, so I can't degun it, which actually means this is tremendously dangerous for me right now. I am now banking up enough to degun. And I would love to, given the opportunity. You do not need to be afraid of one LOT if you've got that many grunts, by the way. That's not a dangerous thing to go up against in your situation. This dude splitting the army well as well, actually. But of course, I'm already out on the map. Get that there. Maybe try to get an exploiter in some key locations here. Wow, really outmassing me, actually. I think this maybe comes down to me being greedy. I'm not sure, though. I gotta pull my combat to help defend. I think, well, I'm wasting energy, so it's very possible that I just put too much energy into winds and not enough into things that can shoot. I'm certainly in some trouble here. I think I'd rather have, yeah, these guys do all that stuff. And, I mean, we're massing up, right? We're doing an okay job at that. And yeah, you're getting good kills. You're getting good damage. My opponent is here. This is 100% the correct stuff to be doing. And I do want to push you back. I can rebuild this, of course. The grunts are slower, thugs, whatever, are slower. So I can catch them and pick them off. Same for the rocket bots. And I am going to do that. Do my little dance there. Walking around in circles. Would love to get this metal reclaim if I can. I mean, actually, even more than that, I would love to res the turrets. And then reclaim the rest. Doing this is just forcing my opponent into base so that I can be more active on the map if I choose to be. And if you don't respect that, you will see me move in. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do now. And this, actually, I don't know that you're going to have enough in place to prevent me from making this play. And what I'm trying to do is line these up to take very little damage, but have them both go into LLT range at the same time. This might be a huge feat. I think I just fed. I think I actually just gave away the entire game with that. But it'd be like that sometimes. Oh boy, that was a mistake. Now let's see what we can do over here. Exploiter over there for sure. Similarly over there. Rezzing these is paying off for me big time. I wonder if I should have stayed around to repair this. It's very good versus light bots like grunts. I think maybe I just res it instead. We'll get that res in if we can. And now this needs to be my side force, and we'll mass back up here with the main force. Yeah, I think I did just give away the game. Not so much from the reclaim I gave, but from the loss in my army value.
You're low on power.
But we'll see. We'll see if I can hold it. I'm certainly going to try to. You know, I'm not going to give up easy. It's weird that the wind is so low. Oh, it's because I'm rezzing. Oh, that's right, that's right. So I want a few of these guys trying to get energy. Not all of them working on rezzing. And let's also move up over here to deny mexes to my opponent. And let's preferentially get those up, and then everything else. And then that, and then we are going to... Oh, yep, It's a good ball of units right there. Very clumped up, which means they're going to take more splash damage from thugs. May not matter for him, though. And yeah, you've got multiple forces like that out on the map. You're really outmassing me this game. This dude, I mean, this is definitely, you can see when someone's new but has experience with the genre. This is like 3 chefs. I've seen people with many more chefs who play much worse, I'll put it that way. 2 more. 3, actually, I guess, sometimes. And yeah, I'm gonna move over, sort of try to force the fight. Not that hard, though. And the one thing I have going for me is I have my Geo up, which means that I have much more efficient economy than my opponent. I'm going to repair that. I'm going to walk these guys up. And, oh, the comm. Let's see if we can get some damage on the comm here. This is actually a mistake with the LOT here. But I'm going to say, if you're not dedicating most of your forces to defending your comm, then I am going to hit very, very hard in that place where the comm is. I'd love to repair this. And yeah, this is when multitasking goes wrong, right? Because you do gotta be careful. You do gotta be careful. I mean that for my opponent, not for myself. For me, this is multitasking gone right. At least I hope so. You know, sometimes I have been known to be wrong before. Yeah, and I think, honestly, that the eco lead from getting the Geo up is putting me very far ahead in this game. People underestimate how much of a difference it makes. I mean, look at it. It's 540 metal, 300 energy. Compare that, excuse me, to a wind that's currently giving me 5 energy for 40-something metal. So it's an order of magnitude difference in terms of how efficient the Geo is. So that's why I like starting next to it rather than starting in the other corner. I think it really, being able to get it up quickly and safely and not have to invest a lot into defending it against harassment because your reinforcements are naturally near it, is really huge. So let's see here. How are we doing? This, I think the exploiter can clean up. Okay, and we're going to focus on killing the defenses so that we can push in here. I could just get, like... I'll build, like... I'm wasting metal, so I don't actually need to get more, to reclaim. What I need is to res units so that I can push. And we're going to spam down LLTs with the comm. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just because it's kind of goofy, is edge build them onto high ground. And these guys come in and res everything. These guys make exploiters all over the dang place. Good enough base layout. This is pretty tight, but it's not quite tight enough to chain react, I think. But let's test it. I mean, I guess if I'm shooting them all, it's hard to tell, right? But, I didn't mean for that to sound as pitchy as it did.
Enemy commander destroyed.
That was a very strong game out of my opponent there. I think, yeah, I scaled with the Geo, but up until that point, I was feeling really... I thought there was a good chance I lose that after my base attack did nothing. Exploiter's super good, but you can outrange them with, like, rockets or missile truck. Core cons can make them, but not arm or commander. I think they're ZD instead of just Z. I only know hotkeys. But they're on the same page as the mechs. Yes, I think so. I think it charges you the difference. Similar to 2 mechs. But I could be wrong about that, but that's how I recall it working. I haven't looked into this in a long time. Yeah, they are super strong. Similar cost to mechs plus LOT, and arguably better. If you flank with the grunts and move in with all of them at once instead of single file, then they kill it easy because of flanking damage bonus. I'm gonna drop the stream link if you want to watch that last game back. Call out a few points where I think you could have won. All right, 36 OS, time to lose. I'll do my best though. We'll see, we'll see. If I win, then that's a lot of OS for me. That might do some good things.
Please choose your starting location.
For my leaderboard numbers. Binominator in here. That's a fun name to say. I like that one. All right, Creed Dirty Dog. Let's see what you're made of, you dirty dog.
Battle started.
I got the side without the tree in the start spawn. Lucky me. Starting bots as always. It's a good map to transition into vehicles on. I have not done that in any of these games yet, but that can be strong. We'll see if this is the game where I get to show that. First one, this game's going to go for energy, not metal, because I know I can get the metal in my base, but I'm more interested in getting that energy and come out so I don't stall out like I did last game. And second one, get the rocks, get the other rocks, and then just get whatever. Alright, first grunt's coming out. I am going to take a more defensive posture. I don't know if my opponent's running armor core. So I do need to respect the possibility of ticks. I don't know Dirty Dog well enough to know which way they like to get dirty. But it could be either of the above. Probably just those ones though. But let's see, let's keep it going here. Send that first con out to do some expanding. Send some grunts across the map. And gosh, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I think I'll do that actually. I think I'll do that and then something along these lines. Just really going hard on the exploiters. And we're going to do a 10-to-1 ratio here at this phase in the game because we don't want too many cons too early. Let's have the comm help with that, perhaps. Oh yeah, and also we're going to build that, and then move the comm into mid. So the comm can actually handle being in mid much more easily than a con can. I think my opponent may have gone for a slightly greedy start, so let's check for that. Just judging by the number of units I see. I would love to get some turrets up along here as well. Get some defenses in place for that, but I'm going to wait till I have one more con up. Okay, one of these guys. Now check out that words per minute. Ask me to go, what other RTS have you played? Technically possible, this guy's just a super genius, but I don't think, you know, usually this means someone has experience with the genre. I am going to try to take this out if I can. Nice. That's true, actually. I got serious RSI from playing StarCraft too much. I climbed to like mid-diamond level, but I couldn't play more than 3 games at a time before I would get shooting pain throughout my whole wrist. So I literally, for health reasons, I had to call it a day on that game. But bar is much more my speed. You can have a reasonable amount of APM and have that be enough. Oh, can't let that get in. That's why I needed to have that turret there. Dang, that's really embarrassing, actually. So we're just gonna have you guys prevent that from happening again. Yeah, Euthermal was so good at this too. That was really fun to watch. I literally saw games where he was unaware of the fact that T2 existed and was, you know, going against people who had a quarter of the map, but T2 mexes up. And he was like, I don't know how they're staying alive, but he was still like winning with T1 Eco versus T2. It's like, you're just a fucking god if you can pull that off, man. Like, that's nuts. That's genuinely so impressive. Cannot push in there as much as I would love to. Let's shut this down. See, this is what map control gets you, is the ability to kill that before it goes up. Once that goes up, grunts are never taking that installment out. Now, being clumped up here means I can't actually pick this fight. And hopefully I kill the Khan, because that would be huge to deny that build power to my opponent. And then we clean these up too. Bearing in mind I'm leaving Rex on his side of the map, so there's still risk involved here. But we're going to move back around to catch those units that I see moving up here. And this might be the point to go for vehicles, actually. I think maybe we make that... Oh, you know what? Actually, no. We're going to build the Khan turret, and then we're going to build that. And then we're going to be in good shape to go vehicles. I want to get the Geo up first. I think that is a higher priority. Get this up to outrange whatever LLTs my opponent's going to try to throw down in mid. Yeah, Geo is so huge. Yeah, that's so huge.
Low power.
Freaky base layout here. I don't know what to make of that. Let's kill that and get out. Actually... Okay, no, that was bait. That was bait. Oh, I got baited. I got baited masterfully. Oh, well. Now, let's see. Deltron Z. Really low on energy here. With a decent amount of metal in the bank, even. Not a good situation to be in. See if we can have this boost that. Yeah, I think I'm getting outscaled slightly. Also, part of it is that the exploiters cost so much energy, like truly an absurd amount to build. Is that the comm over here? I don't know, but I think so. So let's get line of sight on it, which we can do most cheaply by building... Oh, no, okay. That answers that question in the negative. Yeah, I think we're going to eat trees for now. I'm just going to eat some trees. I wonder if bombers are coming. I feel like it's either bombers or some other nasty surprise, but I don't know what to expect. I'm going to assign this to boost my wins, scale up my energy very quickly. Or no, you boost you, and you go over here, start making good things. Actually, first good thing we're going to make is a twin guard, right? I think I'm outmassed, actually, a little bit. Which always seems to keep happening to me. My build power is quite low. So that might be the culprit in this case. Yeah, I was thinking about going vehicles. I think I'm no longer entertaining those fantasies. I think I need to focus on not dying at the present moment. That's fine, I wanted an exploiter anyway. Oh my god, I'm massively outmassed. How did I micro so bad? I mean, how did I macro so bad? Like, I knew that was never my strength, but like, truly, how did it get this bad? Well, it's like a 2-to-1 difference. I don't understand. But if you're not going to come in... Okay, yeah, you're going back here. That is not a dumb move. Some might even go so far as to call it smart. Fall back so we can fight within turret range. Always a good idea. And yeah, my opponent just fed very hard. I'm going to have this guy eat metal. My comm obviously is going to play more defensively. While we've still got these dudes up, we can switch into res bots. Because res would be very strong here, obviously. Want to get like a good surround if you can on these guys for that flanking damage bonus. It's a huge amount of difference it makes. I forget the number, but you can see it on the bar website. It's literally like a 2x or 3x or something. Like it's a nutty amount. Okay, so this is good. I do think I can sort of slowly do that kind of a toxic thing there. And we're, you know what? We're gonna be greedy and we're just gonna eat. We're not going to attempt to res here. We're just going to eat. Oh no. I don't know what to do with all this. It's so much to keep track of. I really, really, really want to get that metal reclaim in my bank. And then I think with like that metal turned into tanks specifically, I think I can actually have a good shot at winning this game. I don't know how I fell so far behind though. I would love, you know, if anyone has some commentary they can give, any opinions, anyone who's either spectating or viewing on YouTube, I'm all ears, you know. It's, please don't be shy. I appreciate any sort of feedback, commentary, criticism, analysis. It's very helpful. If you can't tell, I love talking about this game. Oh wait, what? That shouldn't be in range. Whatever. Wait, no, like, literally, how... It's out of range. Okay, so this is good. We're picking off some stuff here. I am wondering if it's bombers coming, or what to expect here, you know? Get some more cons out. Try to run you back to safety. Unsuccessfully. Oh, there was a third turret I didn't know about. That was the one that was shooting. That explains it, actually. Okay. There was in fact a second shooter. Third, whatever. Okay, great. Oh, there's the comm. Found the comm. That's step one towards killing the comm. And let's see if we can sneak in here, right? Because if we can, then that's great news for us. I think we need more build power, dude. And then maybe more energy as well. Not radars. Oh wow, he's actually got in. Wait, this is so huge? This is genuinely the biggest thing that could happen for me in this game, is to get this level of econ damage on my opponent. And if you've got the Geo up, which it looks like you don't, but if you did, I'd kill that too. Surprising, actually, that you have this much without having the Geo. Maybe that's part of how you have this much, actually. Oh no, kill the mechs, kill the mechs. That's the priority target here. What are you doing, bro? Kill the mechs. Get my comm back. Don't want it getting sniped. I can fight this, especially once I spend my bank here. We're gonna reclaim those as well. Yeah, we definitely want to get the comm back. And from a polite distance, we'll start spamming winds again. Interesting. Interesting. I'm so thoroughly outmasked here. Now, I do have turrets on my side, and I do have build power on my side. We'll see if those factors are enough. I'm really, really surprised by this. This is not what I was expecting the outcome to be here. I don't know how this is possible. I mean, clearly it is. But, I'm really taken aback by this. And now, let's see, we'll have Khan eat all that. This is a fight I can take. And I am worried about these guys swinging around to the backside, as it were. Try not to read too much into that phrasing. But, man, that's nuts. I mean, this look, I don't understand how I'm so thoroughly outscaled. I'm gonna have to watch the replay after this one. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. I'm really, thoroughly, maybe just way more energy? Way more energy scaling? I don't think the game's over still, frankly, just because, I'm not dead yet. Like, if I were dead, then I'd be dead, you know what I mean? Not to oversimplify. But, I'm struggling to hold on here. I'll say that, just to put it mildly. How do you have so much? Big issue for me here. No, lack of build power. It all died, obviously. Yeah, and that's what's going to do me in is lack of build power, actually. I do think I'm going to lose. Have those guys go do something useful. I'm gonna run my comm back and try to fight off these grunts. If I can. I'm so fucked, dude. Yeah, the red spots coming in really convinced me that they're sealing the deal here, you know? That's something I don't think I can handle. There it is. Ah, yeah. Okay. Man, that was a close one. Ah, fuck. This hurts so bad to tap out on this. I don't want to... Oh, man, okay, fine. I felt like I had such a shot that game. I genuinely... I don't get it. I straight up don't get it.
Battle ended.
Look at that, so close. I was ahead on metal. I was way behind on energy, so that is what the difference was. I wish there was one of these for build power. Man. Okay. Alright, watch, replay. Hey, Mogus. Yeah, how you doing? Nice. Yeah, sure, we can make this unranked if you want. I'll even... how do I make you a boss? Whatever. Oh, there it is at the very bottom. There you go. You can do it if you want. We will refresh the replay list. Because I want to watch that last one. I want to watch that back. I'm really... That's such a painful loss, dude. That's genuinely so upsetting. I felt like that was such a close one. Maybe I was wrong, but that's how it felt. All right, we wait for this to load. Come on, guys. I'm never sure. Because the skip button
Battle
doesn't actually
started.
skip it, right? So it's like, what's going on there? All right. Mirrored openings. And you're going into 6 wind before your lab. Very greedy. Very, very greedy. Okay, yeah, you do skip that. So you're inserting that into the build queue with space. 1 con, 1 res. Let's see which one's first here. Resbot first, that does make sense. Are we going to put that on energy or metal? We're putting it on energy. Okay. And yeah, continuing to scale that wind. And yeah, I mean, I think just diligence with scaling wind is what put Dirty Dog ahead of me here. You know, we're already seeing a slight increase in that energy income over what I've got. I'm boosting my lab, of course, trying to get my radar up, doing all those defensive things. And that's the thing about playing defensively, is that it very often backfires on you. But yeah, I mean, with a good advantage on the metal income here, partially from that reclaim I'm getting, I don't feel behind at this point in the game. And I feel confident moving and taking map control. This was a good engagement here, good little skirmish. Getting that pick off. That's Eternal Fear with the commentary. And yeah, just spamming 100 grunts. And 1 con. Okay, so one con turret up, and that's assigned to building the lab. And then you're just, or it's assigned to building anything, I guess. And you're just making your rows of wins. And yeah, I'm investing much less into energy here. So this is where I sort of fell down, as I wanted this guy going back onto the lab, but I think if I had a build turret up sooner, then I could have, first off, I could have eaten this guy. But yeah, I mean, already here I'm falling behind on energy. And I'm thinking I'm ahead because I am technically ahead on metal, but metal's not the whole game, right? And not only that, but I'm spending so much energy getting exploiters up. So, you know, not only am I behind on it, but like, I'm going really heavily into it. Yeah, getting my first build turret at the 7-minute mark, not great. Could be a lot sooner. And yeah, okay, so this is, yeah. And I was talking about it at the time, that it's very dangerous leaving Rex on your opponent's side of the map, because if you're not actively reclaiming those, then you're in trouble. And yeah, I left a lot more right after that, because I got baited in like that. I should have known. I should have known better. That was a really heads-up play out of my opponent. No, that's a 1k reclaim field, and you're going to res all that. And that's why I felt like I was behind, is that essentially there's, you know, what is this, more than 1,000 metals worth of units that I just donated to my opponent, trying to deny income. So I did deny income, but at what cost, right? And now I'm like, how the fuck is your macro so good? Which it actually is. You've got more energy than me. But that's not the main point here. The main point is that I donated a shitload. And now, you know, that comes crashing down on me. So yeah, I think I was being a little, I don't want to say too aggressive, because it is correct to be aggressive, but I definitely, the trade did not go in my favor. And I mean, at this point, like, even these trades, I'm microing very well, and I'm actually getting the better end of these. But I'm not the one moving in with the res bots, right? I actually do a great job there denying the res bots. And at this point, the tanks are doing enough for me that I'm able to stand and fight, even versus superior numbers. My mistake here was not pulling back to repair the tanks, because those high HP pools don't make a difference once they're at a quarter health. You know what I mean? You gotta get them back up to full in order to get the full return on investment there. And I'm also feeding some res bots here, unfortunately. But okay, so at this point, even on metal, close to even on energy, because I have my geo up. This guy's not getting the geo. Huge mistake on his part. And, but yeah, I mean, just the map control specifically on the res field allowing that amount of resing to come through is what's doing my opponent in. And like, look here, I'm actually ahead on energy at this point because of the amount of damage I just got in. So like, this isn't so bad for me in terms of the economic game, but in terms of the res fields, I'm just so far behind. I'm basically making donations to the war fund for my opponent. And that's why I'm getting so heavily outmassed here, and that's why there's so many reinforcements coming in, and why I was really feeling the pressure here. My intuition was correct, but it wasn't the whole picture. Yeah, just, you know, man, this is painful, because if this push hadn't killed me, then I actually do think I could have turned this around and won. Because I have a 2-to-1 lead on energy right now. And I'm not doing so bad on metal. The metal numbers are getting thrown off because of all the reclaim that's available. I think there's, like, it's spiking up, but when it doesn't spike up like right now, you actually do see me in the lead there as well. And I knew it. I knew that I was so fucking close to having this in the bag. I wonder if I shouldn't have reclaimed my bot lab. I should have left that up so that I could have my res bots more active. I think that would have been better. At the time, I felt like I needed the metal, but I think I needed res bots more than the metal. I think the return that you get from having those is actually superior. Metal storage wouldn't have hurt either. Build power scaling earlier in the game wouldn't have hurt either as well. But no, at this point, it's over. It's all over. This is so rough, man. God, this hurts. This is one that I really do feel that I deserve to win. But that's how the game goes sometimes, especially with closely matched players. So, you know, good game. And that actually, it does, I will say, this does make me feel better about it. This sort of, it's a balm to a certain degree to know why you lost at least, and to be able to take that knowledge into future games. So let's see these two play.
Battle started.
So, Eternal Fear, getting those exploiters up. I do like it. Mogus, walking across the map. Actually, looking to have probably the early lead here in terms of unit count. Eternal Fear, sort of low on metal income. Idle Constructor here. Unfortunate to see. This one as well could be going back and getting these. And yeah, good map control with this group of pawns. You know, I would actually say incisors can fight very well versus pawns. However, you do have to be scared of the pawns going and raiding you, right? This is not the correct way to move them in. You should line them up, wait for them all to get there, then move them in at once, so that the LLT gets as little chance to damage them as possible before they're all in firing range. Yeah, this is the OP radar spot right here. Agreed. That's, you know, if you have control of mid, then that's like so much of what allows you to play this game, and this map specifically. Oh wow, forward lands. Wow. I say wow because when you're versus vehicles, yeah, we've played some games. Good dude. And now, I liked taking this trade with the incisors. I don't like pushing this far, and this is for the same reasons that I was just talking about in my replay review, which is that you're versus a bots player and you're putting Rex closer to their base. You want the Rex on your half of the map, as much as possible. Big balls, okay. Okay, man. We can't have that on stream. Come on. Have some decency here. This is a family-friendly channel despite all the swearing. If this actually works, that's gonna be... This has no right to work, LOL. Does Eternal Fear know? You have a radar lock, but you don't know what you're seeing. And who would guess that it's this, right? Technically, if you see the new dots appearing at a certain rate from a fixed point, you could maybe notice, but it takes so much heads-up awareness. I don't think that would occur to me if I didn't have this knowledge. Yes, I so agree. Yes. Best versus calm. Yeah, same Same line of thought here. Oh, I didn't know 6 is the magic number. That's enough to get it in one volley.
6 is the right number to get common one volley.
I didn't know.
Good pro tip.
Yeah. The incisors obviously also die very easily. Oh man, losing 2 Janus right off the bat there. But of course, it's a lot more in queue. And I like comboing them with the pawns here. I think this is very good. The pawns, of course, being fast, can reinforce from the further lab very quickly. And they screen for the Janus very effectively. They will die to splash damage, as we're probably about to see here. But, you know, it's not everything in life is perfect, I guess. And yeah, as the numbers keep coming up, Blue shall be expanding here faster
with this much map control and radar.
Because, I mean, like, look at the radar coverage, right? Like, you literally would know years before the attack shows up if they're going to try to raid this expansion. And it would be so easy to walk in a con bot from your base over to here. Oh, are we going to get the comm snipe? Okay, we're definitely fishing for it. We're definitely fishing for it. This is the correct... Oh!
Destroyed.
There it is.
Battle ended.
Yeah, yes they do. Yeah, Janus comm snipe is like one of the most toxic things. And this is the scaling issue, right? Because Red actually takes a good lead for a few minutes there. But Blue does not slow down. And if we look at metal, it comes from, I assume, getting this expansion up. Energy produced, yeah, also consistent production of winds. Janus is for comm snipe and trolling.
We're sitting 10 of them in a small choke point.
Janus is funny because it's good anti-spam when it's firing, but the rate of fire is so low that you need a tremendous number of them to be effective for that. And you need to micro them so that they're sort of staggered from each other so they don't all fire in volleys on the same target.
If you want to learn more, running commentary with a 5-min delay. I missed most of that last game because I was checking replay, but it was fun to catch the end.
Now, are these two going to go again, or am I hopping in?
What's up, Lizzie? You guys can pick. I will boss, and I will boss.
If everyone's the boss, then no one is. This is the one you wanted? That's not really... I don't consider that a small map. But, you know. If that's what you want. I would say this is soundly a medium-sized map. It's a very fun one to watch, though, because you get more of a macro game on it. got a few people in watching this live right now. I appreciate y'all. If you're having a good time, feel free to hit like. Feel free to subscribe. No pressure. No nothing like that. But I mean, I can't even really say it helps out the channel because it's a small channel. The shit doesn't really matter. But it definitely it makes me smile a little bit when I see it. So when I'm checking my analytics in a few hours, I'll have a slightly better day if you hit that button. So you know, if that doesn't matter to you, then feel free to do nothing. Now let's see this game. Let's see this game. How would I play this? There's a few odd things about this. I do think a corner start is good. This is by far the most defensible position on the map. You got 3 openings, and all of them, I mean, this one's pretty wide, actually. And these ones are not small, per se, but you can cover them with turfs pretty easily. And this one, too, you just need, like, 2 sets. So I do think this makes sense. You also get a Geo
Battle
here
started.
in a defensible position. It can die to high trajectory stuff, but not really to much else. So we do see mirrored starts in those defensible spots. Something I would never do if I was playing the game, but I'm going to try it out right now, is putting the you know what? No. I literally couldn't even finish the sentence before I changed my mind. I always, whenever you go into the player cam for someone and you see them looking at the game like this, I'm like, that's a real gamer. They're rotating cubes and shit in their head without any difficulty. That's impressive shit. Couldn't be me. It's one of those things where it's like, you're crazy, but in a good way. Like, it's a little bit intimidating. And I was going to try it out, but it just made my skin crawl. I couldn't do it. So let's see. What do we got here? Pretty much mirrored openings here. We got a solar over here, 2 solars actually for Mogus, who's making the more defensive play. But with 19 wind speed, I wonder if maybe the better play is to have those winds. And I mean, you definitely do need to be adapting on the fly as you see these things change. So let's see, Mogus going into wind now. These were queued up before, so that's not on the fly, but it's still good enough. This is a big enough map that you can be a little bit greedy with your cons. You definitely do not need to be worrying a ton about, like, rushing early defenses. I like the early energy storage here, especially considering how high the wind can be spiking. You definitely only want to keep that in the queue if the wind goes back up, because the energy cost, 1,700, is non-negligible. And, okay, yeah, also getting that up. Now let's see, expanding over here and over here, basically the same timing, because both of them, I believe, had that con at the start of their build queues. So it's just a matter of, like, when does the lab finish and that build queue starts? And then also for the Cortex, there's a slight delay before that first unit on the pad starts building. But, going for a pretty chill opening here. Very, very quiet. Laid back. Kind of a feeling like it'll shape up into a macro game unless someone gets a good raid in. This is the type of game and the type of map where if it was me in Mogus's position, by which I mean playing Armada, I would really think about gunship snipe. It's a cheese, but this is the time to do it. This is the case where you can most expect for it to work, because you really, first off, you have a lot of resources at your disposal. You can scale up into the resources you need to pull that off. Secondly, you know your opponent's probably investing a lot into economy, and probably does not have much up to stay alive with. And thirdly, you can take crazy routes into the opponent's base that they're not going to expect. Now let's see, what are they doing? They're playing more honestly than I would. Mogus should be building, maybe, you know, wins. But instead using the comm to get these mexes up. Now this, let's look at this for a second here. This leaves a huge open path. This looks like it's covering a lot, but this is actually pathable by bots. Not by vehicles, but by bots. So this is actually less of a defensive fortification than you might assume it is. It leaves a huge open path. And that's F6, by the way, to bring this overlay. That's a good one. You sometimes see me checking this in-game, so if you didn't know, now you know. And over here, continuing to eco-scale, the real question is going to be, when do we see them moving out of their base and where? And the first advance across the map is going to come from Eternal Fear. Because really the only way to get ahead is by slowing down your opponent. If you both play perfect single player, then you're going to be exactly matched. And if you don't want to be exactly matched, then you've got to shut down their expansion somehow, and that usually means harass. It's difficult on this type of map because your radar is going to be so far away from where you want to attack. And so very rarely is your attack going to be a sure thing, right? So it can be challenging. This I like, by the way, quite a lot. It doesn't block this ramp, but it blocks where you would be coming once you're up the ramp. Rocks over here, by the way, could be getting eaten if they chose to do so. But I think this is a good positioning. This is not bad either because it blocks or defends this mechs. Would love to see something going up here. For me, I think rather than going on high ground, I think literally just building your turrets down here, maybe even getting an exploiter here too, is a good move. Now, the Geo is going up for both players at similar times, a slight lead from Eternal Fear on that. My preference, if you have the build power for it, and I know that I like this because I've had better players tell me they do the same thing, is to get 2 cons on the Geo if you have enough energy income to support that. Now, Mogus here with the energy storage, certainly sitting on a good bank. No need to worry about wind fluctuations as you're building that. Is this guy queued to come over here and build this? No, it's not. It's going to get a radar and an LLT. This is a strange spot for an LLT. I don't know if I agree with that. It's not really covering much. If you want to cover your mechs, you could at least put it over here closer to the mechs, right? The thing about LLTs that some people don't realize, they show you a circle for the firing range, but it fires actually in a sphere that is centered, sorry about that, around the turret. And so if you put it on the top of a cliff, it can only like fire in a certain shell, and it can't really very effectively reach the bottom of the cliff. So you very often see people building those thinking they're doing a good thing, and that's sort of the opposite of true. It's good if you're building something that fires plasma rounds, if you're building like artillery, or if you're placing something like thugs, but it's not good for laser weapons of any kind. You know, that's something that's good to know. Now this, Mogus going up to 2 cons on the Geo, and therefore starting it later but finishing it sooner compared to Eternal Fear. Good work there. You definitely wanted this lab to keep producing, especially with a tick in your base. That's danger time. You also probably want to be thinking about getting a build turret up now because it could eat this tick in a matter of milliseconds if it was in range to. And both players being a little slow expanding out here, I think that Eternal Fear is actually getting a slight edge in that regard, but not by a lot, and frankly, not. It's mostly it's sort of a no contest competition. Now this is dangerous. There's nothing in place at the moment to defend this. You might think about D-guns, but if these units spread out, then that will not work. You might think about thugs. Similarly, they need to be microed very well for it to work. D-gun, D-gun, D-gun. Oh, so big. Okay. Literally just saved the game. Huge play there. Really, really good. Love to see it. Now, at this point, that attack is now nothing. I could have ended the game, and instead, a fat D-gun really keeps us neck and neck here. Now, this tick, truly the MVP. Oh my god, baits the plasma shell onto the con. This is like one of the most OP ticks I've ever seen. That 3 stars is right. God, look at that micro. 5,000 APM. Let's actually check the APM. Nope, sitting here at an average of 33, but I have to imagine that it's spiking up right now. Oh man, does not get the Geo, but that would have been cool. That would have been really cool. Oh, hey kitty. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that on the mic, but she's meowing at me. She was hoping for that too, I think. Anyway, Eternal Fear, down on units, up on metal. Really need to see. Yep, that build power scaling is... Actually, that's way too much. You should have roughly 1 build turret per 10 metal income is the heuristic that I like to follow. Maybe a little bit more if you expect to get reclaim coming in. And we are going way past that with plus 25 metal and like fucking like 10 build turrets here. So roughly 4 times more than you need. You should also be rebuilding your mechs over here and getting the second turret up. Frankly, should have gotten that up way earlier. And since you're Cortex, I wouldn't mind pushing out with exploiters. Hit ZDD to area mechs with exploiters, and then you can just get all these up. Bring a couple cons to do that so they build them faster, so you're exposed for less time. And yeah, okay, this is a good play out of Mogus. The air play. Classic
mid-game.
That's,
Mugus mad about not getting that Gia with the 1 OP tick. Going for attack round 2. With bombers, lol.
hey, cat. Listen to this cat talk like she's never been fed in her life. That's not true. Don't believe her lies. Oh.
Yeah, that's a good timing for it. Could be faster if you expand more. I like. But both players seem scared of expanding. They are playing small map builds on big map.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this cat up. I'm gonna pick this cat up and put her like a baby. Yeah, that's not so bad, is it? I'm sorry that I'm not moving the camera here. Okay, let's catch this bombing run. Okay, yeah, carpet bombing the winds, not a bad move. The priority targets, I would say, winds are not bad.
I am surprised they picked this.
I would personally have gone for the Geo, and the build power would be my second priority after that. That being said, in this case, going for the Geo probably would have failed, so fair enough. But I don't know why the build power is still alive. Maybe it was a lack of scouting? Yeah, Mogus did pick this. That's true. Game would have been over 5 minutes ago if Mogus
Spread the pawns in that early push. And didn't hard.
a strange expansion pattern getting specifically these 3 mexes in the middle of nowhere. 2 grunts over here harassing. Or with the intention to harass, but with no actual targets. And yeah, really good micro here with these pawns versus thugs. And should res, no? I think res would be much better than reclaim here, especially since you have strong units coming in to push you on the front line. And similarly, Eternal Fear. I still think that resing and playing T1 would have been better than going T2. But I guess it's at least it's a consistent play, even if it's not one that I agree with. So I'll give you that. Still, I think res plus T1 is better, but IDK. Yeah, Gunslinger's very good versus T1, and especially versus Grunts, Thugs, whatever. Range 380 versus range 365, pretty close, but the DPS is tremendously higher on the Gunslinger, and of course they can self-heal. They are, of course, going in the wrong direction. But no, Gunslinger's tremendously efficient versus T1 units, especially the heavier ones. Because they really, I mean, the projectile travel speed is so fast that you can't micro very well versus them. And then on top of that, the numbers that you're going up against, they'll have a harder time. They do a little bit of splash, they have a little bit of goofy stuff going on with the projectiles. But mainly, I think they do fight better against smaller number of units than larger numbers, and so if you have more advanced T1 units that you're getting, you know, you're paying a premium for quality over quantity, then you're going to get less out of that quality.
Rows of 2, not rows of 3. I'm streaming right now, but thanks for invite. It's literally my biggest pet peeve is windrows that are too wide on the well. Drives me insane. Now let's see. Red actually, with the metal lead at this point, and that's a combination of shutting down these expansions and also taking expansions that have largely not gone contested here. It's kind of funny to build 3 exploiters and then not build the quarter mechs that they're protecting. But, you know, it's a long travel distance to get there, so I kind of get it. That's one thing where, like, if you went air, for example, then suddenly it becomes very easy to get some air cons out and expand with those. Would have loved to see Blue doing that, especially because they survive against these little raids. The cons themselves do, even if the mexes don't. Now this is where this gets fun, because just a few of these guys can really pick apart a line of thugs with minimal effort. I go back and forth between rows of 2 versus rectangles versus spaced rectangles. DK, what's best? Both are better than rows of 3, though. Yeah, sort of forced into Yeah, so this is good defense here, and notice it's almost like a pounder shot. Red got a good raid in with some grunts and stuff. I missed how they had died. Probably LLT. How many kills does it have? 2 kills? Maybe not. I don't know then. Actually, that's weird. They just disappeared into thin air. I don't even see Rex. Must have gotten eaten. But yeah, anyway, this is the main story of the game, is this group of gunslingers pushing on up. And I would love to... These guys should not stop walking forward for any reason. Just go, go, go. Yeah, the longer you wait, the more time you're giving for this Sheldon ball to mass up. Oh, and the advanced shield coming up for Eternal Fear, and that's one that Mogus is not matching. So that's really dicey. Once the Sheldons come up, they actually... Gunslinger's very strong versus T1, not so good versus most T2, because their range is not incredible. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if they can close the distance on these Sheldons. Probably not with correct micro. Time to split and kill next. Wow. There's an area mex command for you. I would love to see it more concentrated on the mexes that are close to each other. Because this, I mean, starting out with that and then that, just think of the travel time. It's not good. So that's I feel like you've been betrayed by Area Mex at this point. It's very true. Oh boy. Calm, snipe, risk. I would not continue with the gunslingers at this point in the game. One thing that they could be good for is going up on the flanks, here and here. Yes. Why are we waiting? I don't think Eternal here. This is the chance. There's OB versus T1 and Obsolete versus T2. Could use them to harass next, though. I think the water might be walkable. Yeah, it is actually. Some of it anyway. So you could be like bringing these guys through here, through there. And they're very good against exploiters as well. They do not outrange the exploiter, but I mean, they kill it fast enough that it doesn't matter. Love to see Eternal Fear. Prism Spectre. No, because of course has no idea, but probably will run up on it. Ooh. Oof. Slinger's caught up after all. I don't know, I called it actually, for the record. I was saying it could happen. I was saying it shouldn't happen, but it very easily could. Funny having one of these on the flank too. One of them on each flank. Look at the vision this gives you, by the way. It's not perfect, but it's very likely to catch pushes come through on the flanks. So that's actually quite good to have. And now this is a funny thing where red is actually ahead like 2-1 on metal income right now. And that's not reclaim, by the way. That's literally just, you know, honest T1 mexes and T2. Pulling 80 metal there versus... You can do this SSARM versus core. Yeah, 60 versus 80. And then a little bit more from converters, T2 converters even. Good to see that. A lot of things that Eternal Fear is doing right here, I gotta say. But it's a funny thing of like, even being that far up on eco, it's still having a tough time here. Now, parading these fiends is bad. You want them to group up. I think fiends could do it if they were grouped, not paraded. High ground gunslingers would work too. I don't mind the sumo actually. I think defensive sumo is good if you've got energy. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Absolute. Fearless. Incredible. 20% HP remaining. That's actually sick. That's actually so sick. What does S do? Oh, set target. Yeah. I wonder if this is repairing up on purpose or accidentally. I think Eternal wins now. Unless something crazy happens. Need to get a T1 lab back up for all the reclaim. Yeah. I don't like looking at those stats. I like looking at these ones. I don't like it personally. Feels like it reduces the game lossily. Makes it seem simpler than it is. I like to just look at incomes. But I'm probably missing out. This is kind of funny. It's having the area mechs queued into Mogus's base. I would just go up here and then drop some radar and turrets and call it a day. Sniper's coming out now. Sniper's coming out now. With tick spam could be good. But very energy heavy. Units. Would have been a huge EMP if that had self-destructed. And there's an EMP on those ones. Now, of course, Fiends counter everything in this big old ball of units, so they are right to run away, but that does mean that this is a very scary push. The Welders in mid are sort of out of energy. Welders with no energy. Saddest short story. Got Hemingway beat by 2 words. You needed 6 words, I'll do it in 4. That too. Man, okay, so let's see. How are the Fiends going to do here? Because they're definitely outnumbered heavily, but they're just so good versus these units. Big oof. The snipers do clean up the remnants. And now, as bad as that looked for blue, you have to admit that's 3k reclaim on their side of the map. There's something to be said for it. No spotters for the snipers is a huge mistake here. Arbiters could do a lot from the low ground here. You could imagine them hitting the Geo, for example, from a relatively safe position. Oh, go, 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 go. Oh, man. I want to see it. Oh, dude. Maybe a bit premature, but very strong nonetheless. A bit premature. Let's... Real sick. Self-destruct. Inspector. Now, technically these Arbiters could snipe the comm if it's standing in one place reclaiming. Arbiter comm snipe would be funny. Anything cloaked does it, including this next seat. Wow, wow, that's so many snipes. That's just so many snipes. Yeah, I think actually I love the idea of spamming Fiends, and specifically running them where the units aren't. This is a case of needing to go where the units aren't. Why would you run into the meat grinder when you could send 10 Fiend to flank and snipe comm? Or walk into base with no resistance. How is... How is this? How are these here? That's so funny. That's straight up so funny. Brilliant. Now, I've talked before about explorers getting outranged. It should go without saying, but snipers are exceptionally capable of making that play. And this is something, the only reason it hasn't happened is that Blue does not have a high ground radar. If you were to, let me grab a con. Wait, does Blue have a con? There's one. Advanced con, look at this. Look how much coverage that gets you. You obviously want that. What does this mean? We got games being negotiated in the chat for the game. A T3 lab over here from Eternal Fear. I do not understand. The smack talk. You love to see it. You love to see it. Now that'll be a fun one to watch. I'm looking forward to speccing that. And yeah, this is I mean, I've said it before, but this is sort of one of the big, one of the big things that people sort of get in their own head about in a bad way in RTS is trying to fight army versus army, when, very often the better choice is to go where the army isn't. And finally, we actually see Eternal Fear having that epiphany. Sending these guys onto the flank correctly. Would have been good to do it sooner, because now we have the spam online, which means we actually do want Fiends in mid to kill spam. But I mean, truly, for about 10 minutes, this has been an opportunity that could be capitalized on. Would love to see these guys, say, doing set target on the snipers, because it's oh, you don't know where they are. You have no spotting, no radar, no nothing. Okay, then you need to fall back. You need to fall back to radar. You simply cannot push without it under these conditions. If these guys discover the comm, I wonder what happens next. Similarly, if you make the same play, yeah, literally probably the worst choice of unit is snipers. I guess it kills ticks. So look how fast it dies. Dies so fast. Because the thing about snipers is that they do so much burst damage, and so their only real downside is that they're going to have a hard time.
Commander
Oh,
has died.
there it is. The comm snipe. I wasn't even looking. I forgot to look. But yeah, the Fiends, like I was saying, did in fact take it out.
Battle
Good
ended.
shit. And yeah, Eternal Fear expanding better than Mogus there. Both of them expanding too slow in my opinion. They're very low by the 8-minute mark even. But the advantage was there. So good shit. I'm going to call the stream here because frankly I'm exhausted. I've been talking for hours. How long has it been? Yeah, literally over 3 hours. Man. Well, thanks for sticking around. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. And I'll tell you know what? Well, actually, because this is going to be a banger. Is the thing. This next one, this is going to be really fun. I'm going to boss these guys so that you guys can pick a map. Pick a good map. Small one. Because I'm not gonna bring me into the into the equation here. They can pick whatever map they want. Yes, sniper, very good. You ever notice how veto and vote are anagrams? I almost said palindromes. But they're anagrams of each other. Okay, well, let's see what map they pick, and if it's a good one, we're going to keep going. This is going to be the last one, though. Oh, dude. The map among maps. Kind of funny to veto Prismatic and then get old school Prismatic, which is basically what CCR is, in my opinion. I can't believe these guys don't like Prismatic. What the fuck? Spy bots, super good. We were talking about that in spec chat. Yeah, the biggest advantage of the spy bots, so they're good for watching flanks, like we were saying, but the biggest advantage is that you gain accuracy. Because rather than relying on imprecise radar locks, you are relying on actual vision of the units, which means that you're aiming precisely where they are instead of just hoping to get close enough. Dirty Dog's gonna take some OS. Let's go. I love the open admission. No, we're doing ranked. I want your OS. Let's go. Let's see this. This is gonna be the last one though. This will be a good one to end on. Gasbag Graben's a very, very technical map. I like this map a lot. It's not easy. It's definitely this is one for the real heads. This is one for the folks that love a difficult game. Very technical map. Beautiful map too in its own way. Like it's sort of I could see why someone would think this is ugly. I personally am really into it. I love the sort of neon green. I love how it kind of looks like acid. I love all the fucked up little plant life. Like, look at this. Look at these guys. Look at that. That's fun. Gas bag tree. Look at that. I think this is a good one. And this is going to be a really fun match to watch. We're going to start out, I think, on sort of a zoomed out view here, just like this. And we're just going to vibe out for a little bit, watching what the builds are.
Battle started.
Two mexes. Three mexes. Practicing as an understudy on Sesame Street here. Four mexes. Dirty Dog deviating, going for that solar before the fourth mex, and throwing down the winds afterwards. Novaturian getting the four mexes right off the bat, then going into that solar. Leads to an early advantage for Dirty Dog in the eco game. You can see those numbers slightly larger. Not a big difference, but, you know, a non-negligible one. Because the both of them end up on 4max, but Dirty Dog manages to stall a little bit less on the way there, so that's a good thing. Bots on both sides. This is a map with lots of reclaim. There are little spots that you maybe don't want to reclaim. Right here on these flank paths. This actually is a pathable angle of approach. The thing about it is, though, that you cannot walk through the plants, so if you want to attack here, then you need to target fire the ground to kill them, as long as they're there. However, if you just do an area reclaim and you end up reclaiming these, then you're in trouble because now someone can walk through that path without giving you any visual indication that they're doing so. Now, the OP move is to reclaim these and also wall off this path. But you don't frequently see people doing that yet. That has not yet entered the meta, as far as I've seen. Or you could leave it open and have it be a convenient way to walk your builders over here, which I don't mind either, actually. But frequently you see people not realize that they need to defend this from behind. Anyway, moving on. We have one res bot, and then Dirty Dog going for two cons. First, Novaturiant going for 4, is that 5 grunts right off the bat before going into cons? So a slightly greedier play out of Dirty Dog here. But both of these players playing relatively similarly other than that. Novaturiant also keeping that first con in base to build a con turret, which I assume the com will be supporting, yes. That's around the 230 mark. This is something you see a lot of strong players do. Personally, I think I could do with doing more of this. Now, these early grunts getting essentially no damage in, because you'll notice that Dirty Dog is getting the grunts out fast enough to defend, and these guys are mostly spotting, or like taking up defensive positions around the map. So I don't think that's good. I think it would have been better to start with the cons. Yeah. I think radar. If you don't have vision, fall back to radar range. Spam is also good. like Rover spam as core. Or grunts. I think rovers are actually better for spam as Cortex. It's a little cheap. I mean, it's a little more expensive to get the labs up, but the end result is better. It's more of a upfront cost, but a better payoff. Another difference here. You will see it many more times. It is the classic mid-game push play in the level. Please. You should have flanked much earlier, IMO. One solution to snipers attack where they aren't. And yeah, we see Dirty Dog here going for precisely the attack that I was talking about. Now, Novaturiant getting this turret up so early does mean that it'll be defended against these guys. Need to target ground. As Com was in a bad spot. All right, and right off the bat, huge eco lead for Dirty Dog here on account of getting the mexes up before the LLT and defending harassment fairly well. Not really taking that much damage to speak of, and in fact creating a good number of wrecks here. You'll love to see it. 25 metal a pop on those grunts. Yeah, I think T3's overkill. 5, 10 fiends on either or both flanks way earlier would have absolutely hamstrung the eco. Snipers would have become less. Could have swarmed them with your production advantage. These guys... Oh wow, weird, they're not shooting. Why are they not? I'm actually not sure what's going on there. Did they not? It looks like they have line of sight on the spot. Maybe they need to shoot next to it? I don't know. Little repair micro going on over here. Novaturiant moving in to expand. Frankly, this is enough grunts. 15 is enough to where you do need to worry about comm snipe. I think 10 plus is sort of the magic number as long as they're spread for that. And let's see, what next? Yeah, this is a good little build queue right there. These guys, once again, single filing, not the way to do things. You want to go in all at once, you want to get your flanking damage buff. This guard would have easily died if those plays had been made. Novaturiant in danger here, not seeming to fully be cognizant of that fact. Dirty Dog doesn't want to end the game that early, but probably could, actually. Instead splits the army, goes on both flanks. I like that a lot. I think if you're not trying to kill them, that is the correct move. Novaturiant now has a single LOT up, presumably going to get another one soon. I like this. I like this a lot. Just walk past the scary thing. Very similar to what I was saying last game. Probably take this out on the way. Oh, do not bunch up. Bruh, don't. You're better than this. Okay. We are switching into Thug production over here. Taking out that con, that's a huge pickoff. We are not going to be successful with this push, but if they meet up with these reinforcements maybe, and we are going to get that mex, which actually I think does mean that you can consider this successful. And this is so scary. I think if these, push along the high ground, then you're in great shape. Or, I mean, really, you take your pick, actually. Anywhere you want to go, you can get away with it. And with the thugs following up, oh man, and we're going into advanced solars. We're doing it without even an E-storage, which is surprising to me, but apparently it's working. We have shurikens out for Novaturiant, who is really building a dense base here. One has to point out, it has to be said. So let's see what the response is. We're getting anti-air bots. We're just alt-queuing some of those. You just hold down Alt-Shift, and then click to get 5 of those at the start of your build queue. And that is probably the lowest cost way of responding to something like this. You will be able to shoot them down. You don't need a new lab. You don't need anything like that. They take a while to get to the front. They're not fast units. That's a speed of 53, which is not slow per se, but I mean, look at them. It's about keeping pace with your thugs, right? Slightly faster. But yeah, you know, they're getting there fast enough, and now before too much damage is taken, we can continue the push. I would love to just see us go for a comm snipe here as Dirty Dog. I think that's probably... you know, it's time, basically, is what I'm saying. It's time. You have the resources available to you. Do you know the comm's up there? You don't have a radar lock on it, but I think from what you've seen of Red's positioning, the comm's either here or back in base, and back in base doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, Bomber's coming out here, and they are targeting... It's actually incorrect Bomber Micro, by the way. The shift queuing like that doesn't work the way you think it does. But the Bombers are out, and they are going to try to get some eco damage here. The build power is fairly spaced out. The wins, not especially. Most of the Bombers die to anti-air bots, and new ones are popping out of the lab, meaning that these two guys are going to get absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is just going to face plant and eat shit. So, good shit. Good shit there. Not even getting the mexes. And we're going to crash. Does the wreck do anything? Oh, there it goes in the corner. No damage there. Novaturiant in a lot of trouble in the meantime. These thugs on the high ground, this is correct, right? This is perfect micro. Basically surrounded on all sides. Maybe perfect is an exaggeration, but this, I think, is the exact right idea. These guys should be closer. I'd be moving them up in sort of a spread position here. Novaturiant taking a lot of damage, and with no clear exit from this situation, is definitely feeling the heat, is about to go down, and that's... Ooh, the offensive GG from Dirty Dog, who absolutely knows that the game's over. Well played. Dirty Dog definitely with a convincing victory there.
Ended.
That was a fun one to watch. It definitely, at no point did I doubt that VPAOS doesn't mean shit. I love the shit talk. Oh man, that's too fun. That's too fun. Alright, well, let's see. Let's see. What's going to happen from here? We might call it, or we might not, depending. Are these two going to go again? I'd play Novaturiant. I would not necessarily play Dirty Dog, because I'm too tired for that game right now. Or we might call it. We might. Let's see. Let's wait it out. Oh, Mogus wants to hop in. Versus Novaturiant, that could be a good game. I think that last one's a good one to end on, though, so we are going to call it there. Take it easy. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.